All right, Shipcast Thursday night. We got Bills, Bucs. We got Mike Schopp swinging by in the second quarter to talk Bills. We got Steph Miller swinging by at the start of the second half to recap our high stakes teams in Week 8 waivers. And the big question, can we keep this pick'em heater going? We hit our 3-leg core entry last week and our 5 entry, unlocking a $600 giveaway. We'll be giving out $100 tonight if we can hit our core pick'em again. Shipcast with Pete, Ben, and Pat. Let's go.
Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your sight.
Jamar. Alpha play Chase.
Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally this boys. You're right.
All right. Are you guys feeling pressure to hit this pick'em tonight, or is it like free rolling since we hit it last week?
It's free rolling. We got
Free rolling. Yeah, I feel great. We hit last week.
I mean, what do you expect? You're gonna hit every single week?
We hit every week. Come on, variance. And if we hit,
what? Like a month of losing. Yeah, I'll pull this up. Our pick'em entries tonight. We're underway here in this game. Looks like we got the Bills batting down a Baker Mayfield pass to kick us off. Shout out to everyone in the chat. That's how you do it, Lou. Game on mute, ship on blast. This is why Lou is one of our producers, coming up with taglines like that. This is the real question, though. Chris wants to know if we hit the parlay, can Gretch send his old house Taco Bell again?
Yeah, that was the plan.
I think you should, dude. Like
just every week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tradition.
That Baker throw was great. He just threw it at his helmet. Like, I think he was intentionally trying to just fire the ball at the guy's helmet.
I did say, I was like, I can't do Taco Bell again tonight. And then I said, if we sweep our pick'ems and we hit the 3 core and the 5 leg, I will. I'll order Taco Bell at the end. That's my promise to everyone.
I'm gonna have to send it to them. I'm doing I'm gonna do keto for a couple weeks again. I'm kind of mixing it up. We got no buys this week. I had a rough time writing signals last week. I was like, I'm gonna throw my body into a loop, go into keto. So not drinking tonight, not gonna be eating Taco Bell tonight. But maybe I'll just send it to the old house. That'll be the way to do it.
You got to, man. You got to.
Is that Evans?
Man. Oh,
Baker had him wide open. I'll try to get this pulled up here in a second, but we do, as you can tell, have Mike Evans higher than I believe it was 57.5 yards in our main pick'em and in the
59.5 maybe.
We got it at 57.5, and I think it closed at 59.5.
Okay, nice.
All right, here we go. The welcome AO23 here, Shift Chasing member.
There's like 3 people in the chat that are just hoping I'll send them Taco Bell, which it might happen. You never know where it's gonna end up.
That's a better bit.
That's a better bit. Just
the entire chat doxing themselves so that you would send them Taco Bell.
One random person just gets Taco Bell.
It doesn't have to be your address, I guess. Just put an address in the chat.
It's their neighbor, and they run over.
Your neighbor could be a friend. It could be a friend.
That's a good litmus test. If you're willing to dox your address publicly for free Taco Bell, Gretch will probably oblige you.
I will, actually.
I mean, you should do that. That's real commitment. That's commitment to the bit.
If we win, I'll send somebody Taco Bell tonight. That sounds great.
Yes. All right. There we go.
I will match. I will match.
Yeah, I'll match.
But the rule is, I'm picking the order. You don't get to tell me what to pick. I'm picking you a Taco Bell order. You're gonna get a bunch of random shit.
Ib's already worried about getting a taco salad here. Don't worry.
I love this.
Samuel says, not going to lie, glad Liam wasn't the guest tonight. Don't know if I can listen to another 40 minutes of Kincaid hope. Well, spoiler alert, we're going to be the ones coping about Dalton Kincaid tonight because we needed him to clear 4 receptions.
Yeah. We like this little even number here. We thought about the yards, 4 receptions on the dot. You know, it's like if he hits that exactly, we can still win a 2-leg or a 4-leg.
They're calling that incomplete. Ooh, almost a catch fumble.
Yeah, so
What
our
down
main
was that?
core entry here, got it pulled up on the screen for the viewers. Mike Evans higher than 57.5 yards. Josh Allen higher than 21.05 fantasy points. Dalton Kincaid, 4 receptions. The Kincaid one, I believe, closed at 4.5 receptions. So we got a little CLV there. He's obviously was a usage monster last week with Dawson Knox out. So that one felt good. What were your guys' thoughts about these pick'ems we put in here for the core?
Well, real quick, Ben noted in our chat that if we hit this with Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid getting exactly 4 receptions, which would bump it down to a 2-leg, we're still counting that as a hit, and we'll give out the $100 tonight, right? That's what we agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Although I just would rather not even think about things like pushes at this stage in the evening. It's just all
Right.
optimism, right?
Well, I just want the chat to understand, the rooting interest here. You got to know all the ins and outs.
That is key. No, this I one of the things I loved about last week was the pivot to the higher on fantasy points in a couple spots where we like the guys. We talked through some Allen stuff, completions, passing first downs, but obviously like he could run for like 5 first downs, and then you're like, man, we're not getting the passing first downs we need. So we wound up on fantasy points for him. I think it makes a lot of sense for somebody who gets there multiple ways. I mean, like you think through it, like we're saying it's a good spot for him, it's a good matchup, and we think he's going to have a good game. It's kind of nice that you can do fantasy points, right? Like
it is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way
Especially
to kind of
Allen.
hedge
Like
against
Allen,
a rushing game. Yeah.
Right.
Allen can get there in a variety of ways. It's tough to just there's nothing about this matchup that has me thinking like, oh, it's this type of game for Allen. I think he'll have a good game. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So I like just being able to bet that and, make that the pick 'em.
On the Evans one, so there's only been 2 games all year. He hasn't gone higher than this number of 57.5. One was the game against the Saints. He left early with the hamstring. And then the other was the game right after that, where he had a limited practice. He didn't practice earlier in the week and was kind of clearly still hampered by it. Those were the only 2 games he went lower than this. So I felt good about that. And I know, Pat, you kind of liked the setup for the Bucs here versus the Bills secondary too.
Yeah, I think they can attack deep here. And also like Mike Evans' role this year is just kind of unreal. Like he's just getting peppered with targets, awesome targets per out runs, backed up by first read targets, backed up by open score, which was released this week. And he's been awesome there. I think their play calling is a little bit different this year. It seems to be really like emphasizing Evans in a way that Byron Leftwich really didn't. Like we'd have these games where Evans would just completely disappear. He already got 1 target on that first drive. They're just like keeping him involved in a way that I think is really nice. It's almost like more like AJ Brown this year, like has become more of just like an every week kind of guy. And Evans is a little bit like that too. So that made me more comfortable. When you're trying to string all these together, you don't want to like necessarily add guys who are like totally boom bust, but Evans, I think less so than he's been in years past.
Historically has been, right? But
yeah,
I think that was a great take you had. We were looking through it, 8+ targets in every game except for the New Orleans one. Pete, you mentioned he was banged up, and that's Lattimore. Like he's always struggled with Lattimore in the New England matchup his whole career. It's just been like the one team that's always kind of had Evans' number for whatever reason. But every other game this year, 8+ targets. You mentioned he's gone over in basically every other game as well. And who's that? Oh, Shakir. That's something I just realized right before this game started, that no Knox and down to Kincaid as one tight end. Like we're going to get a lot more 11 personnel. So the Shakir, like Deontay Hardy types are going to have decent games here today. I actually sat Gabe Davis last minute in a league for that reason. Remember Hayden Wink's research on yards per out run showed that with more receivers on the field, it's harder to earn a lot of targets. I actually think it's kind of like a minor downgrade for Gabe Davis that they're going to be in 11 personnel and have like Deontay Hardy out there a lot more than potentially another tight end out there blocking.
I agree.
Yeah.
Knox isn't very good. Like that's the thing. Like Knox is not good.
Doesn't earn volume.
So he doesn't earn volume. I think it's good for Kincaid that Knox is out because they weren't running, like they still were playing Knox too much. So Kincaid's route participation was probably going to be like 65% with Knox, and it should be easily.
It might be
70%.
100%. He's the only active tight end. It might be 100%.
Yeah, it might be 100. Yeah, so that's a huge boost for him specifically, just being out there. But
Shakir's going to be the dude.
Yeah,
he's running over dudes.
Yeah, the on Stat Chasing this week, which you guys have to be checking out. There was a lot more people tuning in live this week. The YouTube members trying to get the alpha from Sacrilegious, who gave up a lot of the goods that shipped him the dog bowl seat last week on Tuesday night. But he was talking about Mike Evans as it relates to kind of his ADP in these weekly contests, and basically saying it seems like he just still has the stench of Baker Mayfield on him. And you'll see him like every week in the battle royale, like a second to last round pick, where it's like everyone knows it's Mike Evans and he's a baller,
nice.
And that there's still this like lingering, well, it's Baker, it's the Bucs, like they suck.
Yeah.
Why would I want to invest in that? And yet his role and profile is still just rock solid.
And the other big thing is no Tre'Davious White. Like, he tore his ACL a few weeks ago. The Bills have had a hard time with outside receivers since then. There is not like a lockdown cornerback situation here with Buffalo. Like, it's Mike Evans is better than anything but the elite cornerbacks in the league, right? Like, there are some guys I think that can play Evans pretty well, but he's a handful if you're not a really, really good corner. And the Bills don't have that. I mean, they activated Josh Norman, who is 40. Like, how old is
who was like a remember that guy? Josh Norman is a full-blown remember that guy.
Activated him for this game I saw, and I was like, wow. And then there was something like, he hasn't played for Buffalo since 2020, but so he played a little bit the 2 years in between there. But yeah, I mean, he only played 2 games last year. He's 36 years old. I mean, or he's going to be 36 in December. He's 35 in a lot of days.
I'm really relieved already, and we didn't even really discuss James Cook numbers, but I'm just so glad we didn't go there, because the Latavius Murray tilt tonight would have been
awful. Yeah. Plus, like, the Bills, like, Josh Allen is awesome when playing from ahead, and they are a pass first team, and they're aggressive, and like, we're gonna need the Bucs not to like roll over, but I do not mind the idea of them being like up by a score or two for most of this game and having Allen and one of Allen's receivers. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, if you pull up our 5-leg, we kind of leaned into that game script a little bit more, right? So we went with the under on Rachaad White's rushing. We went with the over on Baker's rushing. Baker has hit that 4 or 6 games. The Bills have allowed it in 4 of the last 5, and Tyrod is one of the guys that they've played, but the others were like T-Law, Howell, and then Mac Jones are the 4 dudes that have hit it against the Bills in the last 5 games. I mean, that's another Shakir.
Shakir is our generation's Dalton Kincaid.
The low ADOT stuff, I keep thinking like that's got to
give him tight end eligibility already. Look at this guy.
Yeah. But Mayfield feels like a good bet for that and also probably won't be kneeling, right? Like, that's one of the issues with these like 10-yard quarterback things. You might get some kneels late in the game. I know some people who had Hurts number last week in Sunday Night Football, was it? Where he had like 25 on the dot. There was like some 25 plus, parlays, and he lost 4 yards on the final 3 kneels of the game. He finishes at 21, and it's kind of brutal. We won't, in that script, presumably have Baker kneel downs either, and they'll be throwing a lot more potential for scrambles. I think that all correlates really nicely.
Yeah, so just for the other 2 picks we have in the 5-leg, Gretch mentioning the 9.5 rushing yards higher for Mayfield. We ended up getting some CLV on that too. I think that closed at 10.5. And then Rashod White, we took the lower on his 45.5 rushing yards. And partly because, Ben, I know you are anticipating Chase Edmonds maybe having a bigger role than people imagine.
Yeah, I thought he should have been a more interesting pickup. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm trying to think about the way to put this, because I don't think he's going to be like a league winner. But in a landscape where Emery Demercado 2 weeks ago as like a short-term play was a couple $100 waiver ad, it didn't make a lot of sense to me that Edmonds wasn't like $100 average bid this week. Like, I thought he should have been a guy that people were in on. He got hurt in week 2. Rachaad White had already had a really rough week 1. Edmonds was playing on the first drive, got hurt on that first drive. The announcers were talking. I reference this sometimes in Stealing Signals, but they do the production meetings. The announcers were talking during that little segment where Edmonds was on the field that the team had told them that they wanted to get Edmonds more involved. I think they thought of him as sort of their second back, or to me, after week 2, I surmised that wrote that I thought that they were going to maybe lean towards a little bit of a split there in week 2, but obviously Edmonds goes down, so they didn't. And then they tried some stuff with Sean Tucker. They tried some stuff with Keyshawn Vaughn. No one else has been able to step up in this backfield. There's no competition. I don't think Edmonds is like super amazing, but like it's probably the weakest running back group that he's returning to that we've had for an NFL team that I can remember at one time. Like Keyshawn Vaughn is not it. We've seen enough of him. Rachaad White is pretty clearly not it as a runner. He's been better as a receiver this year. And Sean Tucker was a UDFA that we all liked, but I think like part of the reason like Sean had him on the 0 RB list is he didn't like Rachaad White. He didn't like White, yeah, he was betting against those guys, and Tucker hasn't been it either. And there's a reason he didn't get drafted. The NFL, kind of told us they weren't really into this dude. Chase Edmonds, 2 of the last 3 years were his best years of his career. It was the offseason before this past one, 18 months ago, where he signed the $6 million guaranteed deal with Miami. The NFL, obviously there was some, maybe Miami just was bidding against themselves, but it seems like there was some market for him. And flamed out there, got traded to the Broncos, flamed out there. But I feel like fantasy managers might think he's more dead than the NFL does. He might get a little deference from the Bucs. They might, in my opinion, have been waiting for him to come back with how bad their running game has been, thinking he's going to give our running game a little bit of a boost because nothing else is. And they haven't even been rumored to be adding anybody in the free agency market. There's been fantasy people have talked about like maybe Fournette will land back there, but I haven't heard anything that's like the Bucs.
No, I don't think he has to be released from the Bucs. I don't think there's any chance he could. It's like the one team I don't think he'd go to.
Yeah,
and I think
have you heard anything about other free agent backs to them?
No. So
I think they've been kind of waiting for Edmonds as that guy. Like when he's ready to go, he'll be there. And then this week he full practice all week, not on the injury report, no designation going into this game. It was his first chance to be eligible to be activated. He started his practice window last week, was ready to go. They activated him off IR yesterday. I'm pretty sure they had until today at like 4 p.m. Eastern to do that. We've seen in the past the day of the game activations off IR. They were like, no, we're he's ready to go on Wednesday. These are all like little minor things, but I think there's a chance that like for a guy who in high stakes was like didn't even get picked up in every league. He was a $1 pickup to like $10. I saw him go for 50 in one league. Every other league, it was like really, really cheap. It's just surprising to me. I think he could literally walk into a 50% snap roll tonight. It'll be interesting.
I agree with you that he should have been more on people's radar, but it doesn't surprise me why people aren't interested because it's like everyone has seen the Rachaad White and you're like, what do you get when you're right on who's the starting back in the Bucs? And I just don't think people are excited about that in general. So they're not hunting for the backup.
The reason I've had trouble there's 2 reasons that I've had trouble getting excited. And I kind of liked him. You eventually sold me on him, and we have him in a bunch of spots now as like a cheap guy, and especially as a take a peek. So that was the other really nice thing about picking him up this week. And honestly, one of the reasons that he shouldn't have been under the radar anywhere is that you can literally drop him in high stakes leagues if he doesn't do anything tonight. Like he should be 100% owned tonight. Maybe not.
He's like
maybe
the best
not tomorrow.
Take a peek ever. Yeah.
It's like the best take a peek ever because we're gonna get a sense of like I was at one point kind of chuckling with you about like this like the data points we're using to get there, but like it's to me it was funny because it's like it's week 8 and like we're just like there's like not. Like you have to go into the lab and try to figure out then if there's some signals that other people are missing here. And like this could be one of those signals that like there's they are interested in this guy taking over more of the rushing work. And we would have already known that if he hadn't immediately gotten hurt in week 2. It's like it's really nice that you're going to get a chance if you did grab him yesterday to get a much better idea of how much truth there is to that and then be able to move on for like no loss, especially since he was so cheap. So that part about it I love. I think the couple of reasons I haven't been able to get like super excited is that the Bucs have the worst run blocking line according to ESPN's pass run block win rate. So you got, it's like, what do you win when you win questions for me there. And then came out this week, the receiver metrics, Rachaad White's actually running back 3 in the receiver metric on ESPN behind Samaje Perine and Christian McCaffrey. But he was pretty good last year too. So
Samaje Perine is the top.
Yeah, Samaje Perine's number 1. Yeah. Over the last 2 years combined.
Don't tell Sean Payton.
White is RB6 behind McCaffrey, Jalen Warren, my boy, Austin Eckler, Samaje Perine again, and Josh Jacobs. So it's not like
Perine's a good receiving back. He was for the.
He's a good receiving back. Yeah. I think like he's gonna have some kind of role in the offense. So that's the other part of it too. Is like Edmonds is probably capped at I don't know, 55% of snaps or something. But the rushing work is there for the taking. The contingent upside, yeah.
Too there, yeah.
And he could just take the rushing role. Like White has sucked.
And as I laid out my whole like tinfoil hat, reading the tea leaves. Oh, he's in. I was gonna say that he has. Oh no, it's Keyshawn Vaughn was the second back in. That sucks. So yeah, it's probably not gonna happen. Like I was just gonna say the second drive started. Rachaad White was still on the field, and now Vaughn comes on as the second back. So clearly, yeah. I mean, I was kind of nervous for these first couple drives because I also wrote him up today. Was hoping to see him play by this point. So
yeah,
not ideal.
I think it's. And one thing, I feel like I've learned in maybe the Rams situation kind of similar. Like, I still think Myles Gaskin is like more talented than Darrell Henderson and probably brings more to that offense right now than Henderson. But that element of trust and familiarity, like it's just so clear that the coaches care about that a ton. And, same thing with Edmonds just getting called up, probably his first full week of practice in a long time. And they're like, we've had Vaughn in here forever. It's like you just can't shortcut that trust thing with these coaches.
For sure. But part of what I have tried to make the case for was that they maybe were like waiting on Edmonds is why they haven't been rumored in the free agent market.
Could be. They still could be.
Yeah, they still could be. It could take a couple weeks. But I did, especially with the full practices and not having an injury designation, I did sort of hope that they would use him in these first couple of drives in this game.
Yeah.
And that would be an indication of that.
Yeah, me too.
Paul, Chase Edmonds season, 10-25 to 10-26. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's we've had a few of those, man. That's the crazy thing, like about these middle of the season weeks. Like you have to. Last year, I was thinking about how excited I got about Mike Boone, and I just like had us picking up Mike Boone everywhere. Remember? And
but that's
like,
what. Yeah.
That's
what we're doing, though. Like, even when I wrote it up, I was like, he's 80% to be a 0. But to your point, Pat, and this is one of the things I wrote up, like, in week 8, you shouldn't be able to get a guy that you can make an argument could be stepping into a big piece of the backfield, like, just because he's healthy now, for $10 out of 1,000.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And I do think, Gretch, there's also unpacking why there was less interest is that like out of sight, out of mind thing. In the same way in DFS, the guy who was injured the week before or whatever, people never want to play them. Whereas say a guy like Pierre Strong, right? People saw him on the field. And so even though he might be projecting for a similar role upgrade as Edmonds, it's like, well, I saw this one guy and I haven't seen the other one. And therefore one is worth more than the other.
John Warner here in the chat, our badge bro, said a Tampa Bay beat reporter suggested Evans would be second up. If you're reading the tea leaves, you're looking at basically everything. That was the impression I got. That was like, it seemed pretty clear. Like the way that they activated him off IR yesterday, some of the stuff I saw, like comments and stuff, and like in one of the Tampa Bay blogs related to that, it was like they're ready for Edmonds to come back and be a jolt into the rushing attack. Like that was a terrible kick.
I agree with Sam here too. Like it's just you're on the road, you are projected to lose. It's 4th and 2 against a good team. How are you just not going for it? I mean, what do you? This is the alternative.
Okay, but that was a funny ass kick. We would have missed that.
I mean.
You legit could have made that from 50? I want to see that. Yeah,
shout out producer Phil. Maybe Edmonds has a headache. It could be. It could just be a little
Honestly,
headache.
could be. These teams never factor in the point spread, which they should, because the point spread is a pretty accurate representation of your quality versus the other team's quality. But like, they're never like, I'm a dog, so I'm gonna
ratchet
go
up the
for it.
variance. Like,
Yeah.
a thing that literally myself as a Madden player in high school who's awful at Madden, all my buddies were better, and we would do tournaments. I intuitively bled the play clock on every play to reduce the number of plays going against my opponents, because I knew every time they had the ball, they had a better chance of scoring, and I needed to ratchet up the variance.
Are you the Arthur
Everyone
Smith of
hated
Madden?
me
Is that
for
what
it.
you're telling me?
No, everyone hated me because I was the guy burning the whole play clock down. But it's just like, how did
He subbed out all his good players.
Sounds like it was
That was a lot
horrible
of
to play
fun.
against
That was a
you.
lot of fun. But we're playing for money. And I'm like, you guys are all better than me. So I got to ratchet up the variance.
Yeah, oh God, I gotta play Pete.
That's amazing.
You call me a Madden dick. We were playing for money. All right. Players win.
Arthur Smith learned from Pete. Yeah, I'm a Steven.
Players win. Look how quickly you're all about like offense and pace, and then as soon as you get on the sticks, you're like, all right, baby, we're slowing this thing down. Yeah. I'm a big dog.
But we were playing for money, and my parents don't own FedEx. Okay. So I had to do whatever it took to try to win.
Oh man.
Any of your family members a producer on the blind side or no?
Oh man, we have fun with Arthur Smith. I didn't. Okay. What I was just gonna say isn't even true, so it's not relevant. But
It's the internet. You're allowed to say stuff that's not
Yeah,
true.
we're on the internet, man. Don't let truth stop you.
oh man.
Eric says I need a reason to grow a creeper stash. I mean, it would take me about a year to get a creeper stash.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
That kind of surprised me, Pat, because you got like the dark, thick head of hair. I would assume that you could grow like a good stash.
No, I can grow a stash. That's about all I can grow. But it's like, it's not thick, you know. It's not even. It'd almost be better if it was thinner. Like, it's just like in this interim, kind of just like, ugh. Why is that on your face? Take that off your face.
I just don't like that on your face.
It's not good. And also, like, some of the hairs are like kind of red. I don't have any red hair like
Anywhere
here.
else on your body?
Nowhere else. It's just here, like a little. They're not like full red. They just like glint a little red. It's not.
I mean, at this point, you have to grow out a mustache so we can see this. Like,
Greg,
I can't
the way you
picture
said
this.
anywhere else on your body was
Yeah.
very provocative.
I know. He like really wanted to know. There's
I was finishing
there's
your
no red
sentence.
pubes, Greg.
You didn't want to go there, so I was finishing your sentence for you. You were like, I don't have any red hairs. I was like, anywhere else in your body? All right, let's go. We're adults here.
No,
Let's
you
just
wanted to know
say
those dude.
the
Just admit
carpet
you wanted to
doesn't
know.
match the drapes, man.
No, it matches.
Freshman year of college, everyone did the like no shave November, and everyone was doing mustaches, and like partly as a bit and partly not. I tried to dye my peach fuzz blonde mustache, and then it probably looked like what Pat's mustache would look like. where
Oh
it's-
no.
Yeah, wasn't a good look, but I tried.
I got an older brother who can't grow facial hair, and then I can grow it. It's so funny. Like, we're the only two males of our generation, and he always jokes about it. He's the older brother, but like, even in like high school, he would like, I ended up taller than him. He would joke that I'm his little big brother because like I would get like, I'd be able to grow facial hair, and he has like peach fuzz, and he looks like super young. But yeah, you guys saw the stash that I could grow 2 years
Yeah.
ago when I did the
That was
Navy.
good.
That's real. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad has a mustache. He's had a mustache like his entire adult life, basically. It's fine. It's a regular mustache.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
That's what's so bizarre. Yeah, my dad, like, you know, all of hhis photos, even his wedding photos, and when I was a kid, just this super thick mustache. I could never. It would take me like 4 years of living out in the wilderness to even be able to approach that. I was just like, what happened?
I don't know.
All right, how about some? I don't know. I'll just throw it out there. Maybe a pass to Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Oh, he's downfield on this one. Oh, there it is.
Shakir.
Oh, I thought that was where
Man.
Kincaid was running his route. He was stopped in the middle of the field.
God, was Shakir on the board? Could we have added him to any of these?
Yeah,
We don't
someone
put
was
spy
talking about
outside.
it earlier. He had a very low number, I think.
He's already gone over all of it.
Guys, look, I really want to win. I want to unlock the giveaway. I want to keep the heater going, but there is just incredible equity in Liam typing through a Kincaid bagel.
Kincaid wasn't even on the field.
A Kincaid bagel is a win. Like if we get like a true bagel, like not he only had like one catch for 6 yards. No, I need a fucking 0. And then I think we should do the giveaway, to be honest. I think we should do the giveaway if we get a 0. I know it's against rules. It's not what we're doing, but I think we should.
Yes,
if Kincaid has a stone bagel, for sure. We are for sure doing the giveaway.
I love it.
No, Liam's the king of the spin zone. He's gonna be like, Shakir unlocks a new element to this offense. I really like it right now.
I like this. 0, we win. Anything from
there he is.
He got in. Okay. He can middle
we'll
us
take
on
him
this
down
now.
at the 1. You go back to him. All right,
he didn't get in, and for our James Cook bags, they just he got the carry from the 8, and then they took him out for Latavius. We also have Josh Allen fantasy points, and we're about to watch a Latavius Murray rushing TD.
No, well, at least they're not doing the tush push. At least the tush push isn't in the Bills' vocabulary.
We need that for Josh Allen's fantasy run.
How about a pass to Kincaid? Yeah, stuff. Latavius.
Yes, you suck, Latavius Murray.
There we go.
The thesis of the
he'll go for this
play.
Let's get that Josh Allen rushing touchdown, huh? That'd be sweet.
Is this true?
What did he say?
Vadim says Liam hedged Kincaid earlier today, saying that he might be hurt by Knox being missing.
Doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
You can't do that.
Makes no sense.
Liam.
That's amazing.
I mean, neither of these guys pass blocking, really. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, they're running the clock out. End of the quarter. Damn. 4th and goal. What are they going to do? They might kick this.
I really hope not.
What were they doing there, running the clock down for the quarter from the 1? Were they trying to get a offside so they could get it to the half-yard line? Did you?
Yeah, they'd get a first down, right? Wouldn't they? Or no, I guess they wouldn't.
No,
what's the point of that? Yeah, you're right.
Look who it is.
Mike Schopp, baby, joining us here live from the Buffalo Bills den. It's the voice of the Buffalo Bills here every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
A real broadcaster for the first time on this show. It's an exciting debut.
What an honor. What's the score?
You're not watching?
I'm 51. I'm probably 3 plays behind. I got 3-0 end of the quarter, you said?
Yeah. Yes.
I have Allen 10-1 to score the first touchdown. Do you think they do it?
Ooh. I
very well could right now.
That's a good one.
We're aligned.
They ran him on the second play to make a point, like, we'll do this, but we don't want to. And he sort of preserved his shoulder as he fell. But now it's 4th and goal at the 1, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big
3rd and goal at the 1 didn't work?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a big stuff.
Mike,
and Knox is this guy here? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to ask, did you see the Khalil Shakir breakout game coming?
No. I did last year at this time, but not tonight. No.
Yeah. I do have some best ball shares doing the Undertaker gift right now with Khalil Shakir. Because it wasn't until late July, early August that we're all like, nah, it's actually Hardy, who's probably the guy you want.
Hardy made sense, but that's the whole dilemma with this stuff. Like Tyquan Thornton made sense all summer. But I picked up some Keyshawn Boutte just in case, and now it's Demario Douglas. Like how are you supposed to know sometimes?
When I booked you, I did not think you were going to be, turning the Tyquan Thornton knife this early into your segment.
Listen, I've been talking about the Bills all day. I could be up for anything.
What's going on? What's new with you? How's your season been?
Mixed, like everybody's. You try to figure out how you missed what you missed. The thing about this year, you coined best ball summer, and that's so. Didn't you? No.
Thanks for coining that, Pete.
I'll take credit for it.
Who coined best ball summer? Who coined any of these things?
He coined everything because he's really good at popularizing it. So
if you just say Pete did it, it's a good bet.
Yeah, it's a good bet.
Okay, well, whoever coined best ball summer, I heard you say it all summer. So, but it really is interesting. Like the summer was drafting and it was communal, like the FSGA, the Expo, industry drafts, pros versus Joes, the Deep End Invitational. I mean, just Vegas, right? We're all together. And then you get to even the middle of the season, let alone the end, and sort of nobody cares if you're winning. They don't want to hear it. And if you're losing, you don't want to mention it. So it all happens kind of in solitude at this point. The whole spirit of the hobby is the drafting and the being together and playing together. And, you wish the season could end as soon as the draft is over.
Let's go. I got too excited about the target. Didn't even see the defender.
Ooh.
I love that other people are going to tell me how the Bills are doing. This is the first time in my life.
I don't like a quick throw there. Why are they doing a quick
All right,
throw?
sorry, Mike.
No, I want it. I want it.
That's just such
Mike,
a
what are
great
you watching
point about.
I got Amazon Prime over here on my TV, but I'm probably
Pull it up on your phone or your laptop. It's much faster.
It's much
Fubo?
faster on the phone. Yeah.
Fubo?
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Gretch?
What's a phone?
Just Amazon Prime app on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way faster.
Guys, come on.
Don't do the next gen though, even though it
you
is
a boomer?
great. It's slower.
Okay.
That's Edmonds.
There we go, Gretch.
So-
Let's go. He just needed to start the second quarter.
better than anything. It's not Rachaad White for that long.
Yeah, honestly,
Right.
it's great.
Yeah, great for that
I was like, I don't care what happens as long as they just don't use Rachaad
Is
White.
this play call and the one before perhaps not the ultimate proof that they don't want Josh Allen taking hits? I mean, it's week 8 and you're 4-3.
Well, I was surprised. I'm like, this is a tush push play for 14 other teams in the league.
Right.
And you have one of the biggest quarterbacks.
I think that Purdy concussion is going to change things. I don't know if you guys saw that camera angle from the overhead, but he took a pretty big hit. That's where that concussion came from on a
really?
tush push.
Okay.
And a lot of that's PI. Oh, you can't hit Chase Edmonds like that. Give the guy some respect. Future Hall of Famer Chase Edmonds.
That was my yearbook quote. You cannot hit Chase Edmonds like that. You're not the first
Wow, that was
person to
prescient,
say
dude.
it. Yeah. It's not even a good pass. It's not even the pass to Kincaid. I'm sorry, I'm behind.
Yeah, the passing
Very
Kincaid
high.
was not great. No.
It's not even a good pass.
It's a weird play call for 4th and 1 from the 1. It feels a little too cute.
You're trying to announce Kincaid when you really don't need to be thinking like that. Just score.
Yeah.
This
Well, Liam
offense-
actually phoned in that play.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time the Bills stop taking play calling suggestions from fans.
And draft suggestions.
Yeah, seriously. What's the tenor of calls you get from Bills fans? Like after that game against the Giants last Monday night, which was an atrocity to watch. What are people saying?
Fire everybody.
Really?
I mean, pretty much just like, this is why I've been right the last 5 years, that despite the fact that they've been 50-4, everybody that they actually employ is terrible at their jobs. So, I mean, I went to the dentist on Tuesday morning. The Bills lost to the Patriots on Sunday afternoon. I'm lying behind one person. This is Buffalo, right? For better and worse. I'm in line behind a woman to pay my bill at the dentist. My hygienist is standing to my right. And she just sort of turns around. She doesn't recognize me, I think, but she turns around. She's like, "You watch the Bills game?" And, yes. And she said, "They suck." And I'm just trying to, I just got my teeth cleaned. I'm trying to check out. And I got to hear about how McDermott it's time for him to go and how Dorsey is terrible. And they just let Allen can do no wrong. Let Allen, be Allen, all this stuff. I'm just the dentist.
Well, that's incredible, Mike, that your just aura in presence brings out people wanting to vent about the Bills. It's like your job, but no matter where you go, you continue or carry that with you.
Right. That was it. That's right.
That's amazing. I had a dentist appointment yesterday as well, and I learned that my dentist, a very nice Asian lady, plays fantasy football. She asked me what I do, and she wanted some tips for fantasy football. So that was a fun.
That happened to me too. I was also just recently at the dentist, and the dentist plays fantasy football, and he was asking me what the name of my site is and everything.
Believe this.
But the tech, I don't know, not the dentist, but the person, I don't know.
Dental hygienist.
Dental hygienist. There you go. So she was like, we kind of had this like little conversation, and she's just like, fucking hate fantasy football because her husband's like obsessed with fantasy football. So she's like, so you're so obsessed with it, you turn it into your career. And I was like, but she like kind of said it like a little like fucking thing.
She's mad at you for making content out of it.
Yeah.
You're
and I was like,
popularizing it. You're the reason that my husband doesn't love me.
She's like, yeah, he won his big money league. He won, I don't know, he might have won like $600. And he's like, see, babe, I won $600. She's like, that's not every year.
That's great. No, but Schopp, you were just saying how I think it was a really interesting point, and I've thought about this before, how fantasy football is all about draft season, the beginning of the year when everyone's engaged. Everybody cares about it. We love to talk crap with our friends and everything, but people fall off as their teams get bad. And then there's only a few amount of teams that make the playoffs. And then there's a few weeks there where people check out. And by the time you get to the championship, like I've had a league that's been around for 20 years and people love to talk crap, but you're all on fumes. There's only two people that care at that point, right? And so that they win their championship, and like next summer we're going to talk about who won the championship last year.
Right.
Oh yeah, okay. Congratulations.
Right. We do a baseball league in Philadelphia every March. It's a 30-plus-year-old league, guys from all over the country. It is the weekend. Like there are dinners, it's breakfast beers, there's an NL draft on the Saturday morning, there's an AL draft on the Sunday morning. It's just the best. Then after each draft, if you can stay in town long enough, somebody runs the Sims. Somebody runs 10,000 Sims on who's going to win. I'd rather win the Sims than the league, because when you win the Sims, what?
Is this Leone running these Sims?
No, don't tell him. Don't tell him. No, don't tell him. So I'd rather win the Sims than the league, because that takes out all the randomness. You're the team that's supposed to win, right?
Yeah.
And everybody drinks to you like, oh, I guess you have the best team. The season plays out. Then it's October or November. Who even cares? Somebody wins the league, again in solitude. Maybe 3 people congratulate you, and then it's 4 months of silence. Like,
here we go.
There it is. Here we go. You just won it.
You just won, Schopp.
He has no idea. He's gonna.
I've never won anything in my life.
You just won, baby.
10 minutes from now, we're gonna see you get pumped.
You're doing a monologue about how you don't even want to win things, and then you win.
I've made a lifetime of talking about sports without watching them, so it's appropriate.
You guys, after Peter Jennings, CSU Rams, big sweat when he came on a couple weeks ago, our guests come on, tell us about their sweats, and they hit. Like, this is
it's true.
It's just what happens.
Maybe I should celebrate with a beverage. I don't know.
You should.
It's back here.
That is so funny thinking about you guys simming results. Imagine if Yahoo replaced their you get a B+ grade on your draft. It's like we are processing 10,000 sims to say who wins.
That's it. You could take a percentage of a fantasy league's money and just pay it to the person who wins the sims.
That's true.
Because then they haven't had everybody get hurt yet. Like they might deserve it.
The thing is, you could have absolutely smashed a draft, right? And they would say, you have a 23% chance of winning this 12-person league, which is just an insanely good chance. And people would be like, fuck, 23%? This is bullshit. They would think that you gave them a D+ if you told them they had a 23% chance of winning the league.
That's funny.
That's one of the fun parts of being a fantasy analyst over, multiple years. I'm off on my own. I write selling signals. I got returning readers. But not all my readers are winning their leagues. I think it's kind of amazing that I've had any of them come back, because when you're getting advice from random people, if your expectation is it's win or lose, but it's 1 out of 12. People don't really realize, right? It's not easy to win a league.
Well, that's the dilemma when you're talking advance rates with people in BBM and such. Oh, how are you doing? Well, I'm not doing the best, but I kind of have a Baltimore-Miami thing happening that might be good. You just don't even really want to talk about it yet.
Is that part of the extended conversation with the lady from the dentist? You're telling her about your
Yes, no, that was her talking to me. She was worried that maybe Tennessee playing Houston twice in the fantasy playoffs wouldn't actually be that good.
You're like, Tajay Spears might actually be the beneficiary of those juicy matchups.
I tell you what, I've been watching content all summer. Every single time, I thought maybe sometimes it was sarcastic. They kept pointing out that Houston was Tennessee's opponent twice in the fantasy playoffs. Now I think maybe I want Houston guys. That's what she said. Then I left. I just walked out. Enough with the flossing. I'll floss next year.
That's great. Schopp, you do one of the most intense fantasy drafts that's out there every year. We've been in Vegas for the last couple of years. You've done it in Vegas after the Thursday night football game. I love the timing too. It's right after the Thursday night football game. Like everyone should be drunk, but you guys have to stay sober and figure out this draft where it's what, bare knuckle? I always think of it as white knuckle, but I think they call it the bare knuckle draft, right? You guys get no electronics, you get no lists, you get no paper, you get nothing. All you get to do, you can't have a co-manager. You show up, you're by yourself, and you draft a 28 round best ball draft. I'm mistaken.
You can have a co-manager, right? Like you can do
You
an alternate.
you can have a co-manager, but nothing else. You're right, Ben.
Okay.
28 rounds, 30-second clock.
30-second clock.
You have to split the draft though, right? You can't like be together the whole time.
Right. You can tap out at some point, and
Tag
then your
team
partner
style.
comes in, and you can't go back in.
Oh, interesting.
Between us this year, it was a little bit too rowdy. Like I got through it, but there was too much going on in the peanut gallery.
Steph? Who got in trouble for talking?
It was Steph. Yeah, she was. I had Philly guys to my left, and they just couldn't stop trying to make fun of it all night. So, but you want to say something but I felt like it would already be too disruptive, and I just couldn't. But I'm not making excuses. Like I'm trying to get through those and make decisions that make sense and not forget anybody.
Yeah,
but it's.
I didn't know they allowed people in the peanut gallery. That doesn't make a lot of sense because you got to do it all off memory, 28 rounds late at night. My question was, what's the preparation process like for that? What is your like? Because I know you guys spend a lot of time like grilling each other on kickers and stuff. One of the Go Bills guys does it with you as well.
Yeah, no, Nick and Sean, Go Bills, 2-time defending FFPC main event champions. He's on his own. Nick has done the thing 2 years in a row by himself as well. And he, it's the SAT, only you die if you fail. Like, it's super intense with names and flashcards and, every day. I have just sort of treated it as all the drafting I'm doing is enough. But at this point, I can't say it is. Nick's in a close third in that. I'm 9. I started, so I drew the ace, which meant I could pick any draft position I wanted. And I picked 2. And I'd like your opinions on this because I want somebody to play off of, whether I'm 11 or 2, just, okay, what does this guy need? And maybe I can gain some value that way. So I picked Chase at 2, not McCaffrey. And then Gibbs off the opener. Everybody was giddy for how Gibbs looked in that first game against Kansas City. Just, Montgomery exists, but Gibbs at 23, then Hurts at 26, and then Goddard. And so it's been a climb.
If I was super prepared, I think that line of thought makes sense. If I felt slightly underprepared, I would want to be, 5, 6, 7 and have more time each round to think about my decisions as opposed to having to go bang bang on picks.
Yeah, I think for that I would want to be in the middle just for memory, just so I would be yeah.
I think if I had more confidence, I would agree. I've always wanted to be on the ends because I want the breather, and then I can sort of look at the board and be
wrap up Rachaad White. Okay. That is brutal tackling.
That's a long run of the year.
Flag.
That was flag. The other fun stat with Chase Edmonds going into this week, he has 4 carries, and his 14-yard run, his longest run, is longer than anything White's had all year. 4 carry sample. We got a hold. He's still Rachaad White's long is still only 13 yards.
I will say, Mike, it is a predicament. So back when Pat and I first started going, we wanted to cover the bare knuckle draft because we were like, all of the stuff, like people in a room drafting high stakes teams, it's kind of interesting or whatever. But for like mass appeal, like these guys doing a draft, 28 rounds with nothing, like that's a hook. And it was a very interesting thing. And we had always talked about, is there a way to cover this, to live stream it or document it? And it was always kind of like this hush thing, because guys like you need your space. You need to be able to think. But it is a bummer because of all the things that happen at high stakes drafting weekends. That is by far the most interesting thing that should be covered in a more kind of marketable way.
I think everybody's too tired. Everybody has flown to Vegas within the last 48 hours, and you watch the game and you're going to your Jose Andres dinner and you're going, you're trying to get some gambling in. And then, the bare knuckle is the combination of like, okay, this is a super exciting, hard, serious thing. And then also like, let's just get through it. So I might be done with it. I don't know. Like I love the challenge, and I would love I'd want to approach any sort of startup bare knuckle thing that happens. But the Vegas scene seems like it's a little bit, okay, I tried. I did it 3 years. Next question.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Real quick, just to put a bow on it. What was the buy-in for that? People want to know.
1,000.
Now, question for us.
Yeah. Do you have, so Pete, sort of, as soon as we got started on the best ball after dark, you're like, I'm not going to let you interview me. So I don't want to get in your doghouse.
I'm feeling kind of lazy right now. You can interview me.
You're welcome to interview me.
Did I invent hot best ball summer? Yes, Mike. I did. It was my beautiful idea.
I feel like, is there a player that jumps out to you right now as the player you most regret buying into this year?
Oh, buying into. I mean, that's a laundry list. Quentin Johnston is one of my highest exposures. And the reason I've been thinking about it a lot lately is in like all of the big board stuff, I was massively overweight Jordan Addison relative to Quentin Johnston. I thought Addison was a better prospect. And then I flipped that take come drafting season, and Quentin Johnston was going 2 rounds cheaper. And I was like, why aren't these guys closer together? So right now that one is stinging because I have far more QJ than I do Addison.
But do you regret how you got there? Like you got there because you were looking at your portfolio and, all right, well, I need to sort of level off a little bit, right? Kind of. There's so much unknown at that point.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to let myself off I mean, I did think the gap was maybe too big. And I'm always going to take shots on those kind of guys, right? In that offense, a first round profile like that. But I also think I went into it with open eyes. We knew he was probably a more volatile prospect.
Yeah, he was boom bust. I think everyone thought that.
Yeah.
And I think Addison is hitting a higher end of his outcome, and everyone thinks that it was so, like, the argument for Addison was that it was so clear, and I don't think it was quite as clear as everyone wants it to be, but it is hitting to that degree, so that's the way it's going to go down, and that's fine. My answer would be Rashad Penny. I really push for a lot of
that's a big one.
But Gretch, actually, to your point too, like one of the talking points that I still think is true, right? Even aside from QJ, was Jordan Addison wouldn't be able to hit his full ceiling without a Justin Jefferson injury, that he was always going to be capped to a number 2 role. And I think Jordan Addison would have still had an awesome season. And we'll maybe find out in a few more weeks what he looks like. But this insane kind of target share, that's not happening when Justin Jefferson. So him getting unlocked without Jefferson, that helps expedites things. But I don't know if it changes that thesis necessarily.
Right.
Pat?
Yeah, Penny's a good one. But like a few weeks ago, I might have said Deontay Foreman, and then it's like Foreman gets run. And it's like, oh, there we go. So I almost feel like there's hope for Penny. Like, it's a chaotic league.
Did the kicker's helmet get ripped off of him? What is happening?
Like that's what happened.
Dotson is one for me. Where
Dotson is why I brought it up.
Yeah, I wasn't that into Dotson. I didn't think the argument for him this year was like that compelling, but there was just sort of like he's a second-year player. He was a first-round pick. He had an okay rookie season, and I think Howell is going to like chuck it around, and I think Brissett is good if Howell gets benched. So I should have a good quarterback here. I'm just going to like mix him in, but I took too much, and I liked Addison. I liked some of the other guys in that range, and I wish I had like Pickens. I wish I had more Pickens and less Dotson, Not that I like exclusively took Dotson over Pickens or anything, but I definitely did that sometimes. And it's like, God, Pickens looks like a stud, and Dotson, I don't know. He's behind Curtis Samuel right now. It's pretty ugly.
But he might be a better player. He's dropping the ball in key spots, Dotson.
He might be, but even in terms of target earning and stuff, he's behind Samuel right now.
The chat is saying in all caps, Josh Allen's in the tent. Kyle Allen is warming up. What happened? None of us saw it either. He may have hurt his shoulder again.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks for the
Heather Prusak. Is that your colleague, Mike?
I know who she is.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm passing on a reputable Bills source. Kyle Allen is warming up on the sideline, throwing to Dalton Kincaid as Josh Allen is still in the sideline medical.
Those count as Dalton Kincaid receptions.
We will follow this, but I'd like to add on Dotson. So to me, the struggle I'm having is
quarterback is in the tent right now, and the Bills radio guy goes, "Hey guys,
he wants to talk about the
hot dog."
Well, I'm on your show, right? I mean,
he's in here to talk fantasy. He's here to talk fantasy.
It was just very funny.
On my show, I might have done that differently. But Dotson, like everything pointed up for me. And when did we draft him? Round 9 or something like that? Like it was sort of a wide receiver 4 or 5. Yeah. It was just like sitting there. Noah McLaurin was kind of iffy. No running back. Maybe Howell's good, like Pat said. Like anything could have gone right here. But I didn't consider Eric Bieniemy exactly copying Kansas City's distribution, like the route tree stuff. It's like 9-10 targets per game, and Logan Thomas is more relevant.
You didn't think Bieniemy was going to make him Sky Moore?
No, I didn't think about Bieniemy, but if I had, Pat, I would have thought about one example would be Josh McDaniels with Jacobs, because last summer we're going, well, okay, well, maybe Jacobs, he hasn't had a great career, but he's talented, except that the coach is going to, spread carries and touches around because that's what New England always did. So we didn't draft Josh Jacobs. It's not perfect. It's not apples to apples, but we didn't draft Josh Jacobs because what we had in mind on McDaniels was there's not going to be a workhorse there. And on Washington, I sort of didn't care. I mean, Bieniemy equals good, right? Equals productive. So even better for Dotson. And so he's somebody where some of these guys, you don't think you're making a mistake. Like stuff happens, and like I couldn't have got that right. But this is one where I can't decide.
The good news is Josh Allen has come back on the field for your Buffalo Bills. So you got that.
Doesn't he always? Where's my, yes.
There's ones like
Did you say Bateman already?
Well, Daniel Raz threw Bateman in the chat, and he helped me with the rankings all summer, so he knows that I was pushing Bateman up, if anything. But there's somewhere I'm just like, that's just going to happen the way I play.
Oh, a pick on his first pass.
On a Kincaid target, nonetheless.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Don't love that.
The Bateman thing to me is less Bateman and more a structural thing. I mentioned it was perceiving the Bateman
that's true.
tier and then juxtaposing that to Nico Collins and Jacoby Myers being stone smashes like 2-3 rounds later, and pretending like Burks and Bateman were so far ahead of those guys, and even zooming out, not doing just like retrospective. It's like, were they that different of a probability bet?
I think Collins felt like a lower probability, but just because like there was so much uncertainty of like how much they even like Collins. Is Collins going to be out there all the time? Obviously, he looks.
Collins has hit parlay because Stroud has been way better than expected.
That's the key.
That's the key. Calling has been incredible. Their first time offensive coordinator has been incredible, and Collins has been good. He's had all 3 of those things, which is great.
And 2 of those things you had no idea would happen. Like you're stacking and you're building correlation, and CJ Stroud is
that was the upside
for Bryce Young.
If you want to tell yourself a story for Collins, but like I do think as far as like a wide receiver window closing 2023, Pete, I think you make a really great point that it's fascinating that the guys at the back end of what we were calling the wide receiver window have largely busted. The Bucs, Bateman, QJ group, and the guys right behind that, which often are like really low win rate players, are doing pretty well.
Many of those guys busted, but Myers and Collins was, and Thielen. Thielen was almost was he with that group? I guess he was. Yeah,
So a little bit further behind.
Godwin, grown ass man catch right there in there.
But I do think the probabilities. I think that I still think when you talk about the profiles of Bateman and QJ and Treylon Burks going into the year and what they were as prospects and what kinds of prospects hit and how young rookie and second year players can be so impactful. And from that range, last year, I wrote about this in my draft stuff. I went
too. Like Burks might be really good. I don't know.
Yeah, we might still learn from those guys. But
I'm bidding on him
last year. That was Garrett Wilson, and then right behind it was like MVS. I mean, I had those names in an article from last year that I remember I hit up in August to make this point again. You want those young guys over time. I know the year prior there was some good examples as well, but anyway,
did I win again? Godwin?
Yeah, Godwin.
You have Godwin too?
Plus 650.
Let's go, Mike.
Oh yeah,
first Bucs TD.
Who are you? You're buying someone in the chat Taco Bell if you hit both of those?
I mean, how much could that cost?
Do you have a third one?
Yeah.
You better stay on if you do.
I have 4. It's not a parlay. Allen first touchdown 10-1. Godwin first touchdown plus 650. Allen over 21.5 rushing. Bills minus 10.
Okay. You had me in the first half. I don't know about this Bills minus 10 anymore, Homer.
Well, that pays even money, so who cares? Hang on, let me get my beverage.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The chat's asking if Bateman was also a parlay, Burks a parlay. I mean, those guys had better profiles coming out.
No. Like, I guess there's a thing of like Bateman needs to be good. But
Bateman wasn't a parlay in that the market had confidence in the Ravens passing game being very good.
Right.
And whereas the Burks thing, you could say like quarterback situation. You got
Burks was more of a parlay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Bateman dead though? I mean, I know he's playing behind other guys.
I don't think
so good. The thing is always
like he's out there. I don't really get it.
Yeah.
The draft capital investment, shouldn't they want to sort of what if they're really good? Shouldn't Bateman be a priority? Like these teams just you see them do things and you think organizationally it doesn't make sense, and maybe the coach and the GM or the owner don't even talk. Like the Falcons. You know, that's not to
they seem to be pretty in on Beckham. I think it's annoying that like Beckham came back and he got a bunch of targets last week and had a really high first read target rate. It seems like they're like, all right, we got to make sure we get Odell Beckham involved. But it's like, do you? What if you didn't?
Do you?
Like Zay Flowers is definitely pretty good. I think he's early on. I was pretty skeptical of him. Like week 3 or something, I was like, I don't know. It's a lot of screens. It's really shallow ADOT. Like let's see. And I think we've seen he looks pretty good. He's getting used downfield. He's been efficient. He's able to get open. He rated really well in open score. So I'm sold on Flowers, and it makes sense that they would be prioritizing him, which then makes it tough for Bateman because you have Andrews there too. So now we're talking about like the Ravens' number 3 receiver already. Why he's not really in the mix ahead of Beckham and even Aguilar sometimes, I don't really know, but.
What do you guys want for Derrick Henry?
What do we want for him?
I mean, that presupposes that we have a rooting interest in Derrick Henry.
Right, exactly.
Davis is not in the room?
I mean, if you're a Derrick Henry fan, you would love him on the Ravens. I mean, that's a smash.
Yeah.
You're willing to sacrifice those 2 matchups against the Texans to get Derrick Henry on the Ravens. I'll tell you that much.
If it ends up being traded to Houston, that could be complicated for the best.
That'd be funny. Oh my God.
Derrick Henry gets the Titans twice in the fantasy playoffs, 2 revenge games.
Dude, the practice reports on him in December.
They beat Carolina. One of their interchangeable running backs, goes down. Let's go. We're almost in first place. They only want a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Houston against Tennessee, weeks 15 and 17. Has anybody considered that?
I have not. I've not considered it until right now. But
are there any like real? Is there any real buzz on the Henry stuff, or is it just because the Titans are so bad?
I've seen some Ravens rumors.
Baltimore, Buffalo, Dallas, Green Bay.
Buffalo does not need Derrick Henry.
What does Buffalo need, Peter?
Well,
honestly, Derrick Henry on the Bills
four
would
more
be
times. It's what they
More-
need to do.
More passes to Khalil Shakir.
No.
I don't know. It's a really interesting puzzle right now, the Bills. I mean, Allen has been so good. Diggs has been so good, but they're kind of in between. Allen can't even figure out how to describe where they're at right now. And now they're 10-10 with Tampa. Like, they're playing fine, but that interception again, and then just they've had a tough time of it this year. So the GM has been a trade guy. Like, you would love him in your fantasy league, Brandon Beane. He traded for Diggs. He's been out there doing stuff. I think they do something. They've had massive losses on defense, not even including Von Miller, who's barely playing. I'm not sure about tonight. They're going to want to do something. They could be 4-4.
Mike,
They need another receiver, I think. I think that's
Well,
that's the issue.
That's what I was just going to ask, because didn't it come out, and tell me if I'm wrong, because you would know the particulars. They wanted a receiver in this draft, right? And then they were all off the board. And then Dalton Kincaid was kind of the Galaxy Brain consolation prize if we can get this in a different form. Is that how it went down?
I thought the guy, if they were going to be able to pick from the receivers at 25 or whatever it was, assuming JSN had been picked, because JSN sort of slid to 20 in that draft, I think their guy would have been Flowers. No one has told me that, but there was the most sort of buzz around that. But I bought Kincaid as an idea. The problem was always, and it still is, rookie season. Like, you're trying to win a Super Bowl, and maybe he is the next Travis Kelce, but acclimating to the position in your rookie season is very rare. So I don't know. I don't know if they would have drafted Johnston or Addison, maybe. But finally, it was at a point, like, for 3 years on WGR, we've been like, the Bills need one more weapon. The only first-round pick, or even maybe first or second day pick, Josh Allen has ever thrown the ball to is Kelvin Benjamin.
Oh my God.
Wide receivers
I forgot.
only.
And they didn't even draft him.
They didn't even draft him, but Carolina came in and traded for him, and his first touchdown pass was to Kelvin Benjamin. Wide receivers only. Like, Diggs is 4th or 5th round, and so is Davis, and all those guys.
Shakir's day 3, I think.
Shakir's 5th, right? So this was like the third. We were pumping up Elijah Moore on our station 2 years ago. Like, I know you're good, but you need one more guy. Offense wins, and they drafted pass rush to try to sack Mahomes earlier, but that didn't work. That never works.
Yeah.
So this year they got to receiver, and Kincaid is a very interesting sort of hybrid idea for that, and he shows signs. This year they might be trying to force the ball to him, and Tampa Bay might be onto it with knocks out.
I know you're behind, but this play, I mean, Josh Allen didn't even look Kincaid's way, threw it immediately to Gabe Davis, who wasn't even looking for the ball. Wasn't even.
That's the play after the Diggs play. After the Diggs play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1st and 10.
Yeah, it is weird because like the Diggs thing, that was the Bills like very correctly like looking around, seeing what the is happening in the league, right, and being like, we have to get some legit weapons, but you can't stop there. You need AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. You need George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
What does a 2nd and 10 draw get you with 3 minutes in the second quarter? What the fuck are you doing? You're in field goal range. That's a terrible play call. Anyway,
always, every time.
They're having some success on the ground too, but they're running the plays at weird times.
I mean, unless they're just worried about Allen's shoulder, but that is just, I mean, there's nothing that
I don't know. I mean, he's just thrown a bunch. I think it was like we'll get 4 yards here. Let's be sneaky. So
you guys start Davis tonight anywhere?
It's still 3rd and long.
We don't have much Davis in managed.
I did
started him in a main tonight over Rashod Bateman.
Ooh, Kincaid!
There we go.
There's a second reception and a touchdown for Allen.
Somebody tweet at
It's
Liam that something about him pass blocking. Like let's flip it on Liam. Let's tell Liam that he was wrong. He was wrong that he was going to pass ball.
Dude.
When will Ben learn 2nd and 10 runs or to set up 3rd and 12? When will Ben learn?
That's right. Oh man, let's see this play here.
So Allen's going to hit our over on fantasy points. Can we check the?
Yes. I love one of these picks.
Which one?
Your 3 and your 5, both.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Although Evans isn't happening yet, right? You have Evans?
No. Yeah.
Neither is Baker at all.
Well,
yeah, but we get those through scrambles like that. That's okay.
Right. You're losing. You're fine.
Yeah.
Allen's already there. I mean, he's 2.5 points away.
Yeah. That feels good. Kincaid feels good. We just need Evans.
We need Evans.
How's my -10 looking? Better?
Better. It's looking better than it was 2 minutes ago.
This game ends 29-13. Sorry.
From your lips to God ears. I mean, we do need to get Evans in this this negative.
Well, this is a good setup. Like they're going to be throwing, right? They're going to be trying to conserve time. They're going to be trying to score. This is like
Are they about to make 4 field goals from here on out? We're at 17-10.
No, there'll be a safety, a touchdown, a 2, and a field goal. That's my prediction. Who's on next? Who's on the third quarter? Sacrilegious? JM, who's on next?
Wow, look at you.
Who's on next?
Play that. No, Steph. Steph comes by at
catalog.
The start of the third quarter. You can hang with us at halftime while we dial up some pick'em. We gotta get in heavy on the Shakir. We use our ball watching from the first half to inform our second half decisions.
Love it. My wife's flying in from New York right now. My kids are 13 and 12. They're on their phones probably after I told them to go to bed an hour ago. So I'll do whatever you want.
We want you to order Taco Bell. Does somebody?
I'm not sure Buffalo has Taco Bell. We might.
Come on, you have a Taco Bell.
Probably do. Adam Levitan famously said on this show, "Does Buffalo have an airport?" So, what are you more likely to have, an airport or a Taco Bell? What's more likely?
Does Buffalo have an airport? That's pretty funny.
What was it that I had Leone on? I forget what show I had him on, and he was trying to. Oh, it was the randomizer, and he was trying to sell the chat on Buffalo being a good food city, and he kept throwing out all these Mexican joints and stuff, and he was having a hard time winning people over with that.
And then you called me.
Oh yeah, he did call you. Yeah.
And I was too busy because I thought he was stiffing me for a draft we had that night. But
I still remember the first time I met you, Schopp. We went to that really great steak dinner that we all talk about and loved. But it was you, Leone, and Leone brought me along. The 3 Go Bills guys. It was a bunch of Buffalo guys. And halfway through the meal, you guys broke out into a Buffalo wing discussion, like a heated discussion about the different Buffalo wing places and I was like, I am in the stereotypical Buffalo dinner right now, where everyone is just sitting here talking about a Buffalo.
Well, Ben, let's straighten this out. Like, it was great, right? You loved it. Oh, yeah. Louis G was the 7th guy. He's only second in Best Ball Mania. He's second in Best Ball Mania.
He was first there for a second.
He was first for a couple of weeks. And these guys are trolling me. They know, like, whatever. It's a fucking buffalo wing. Who cares? It's a chicken wing. So they're just sort of playing me a little bit. But yeah, it was a great night. It was great to meet you that night too. Craft steak at MGM in Vegas. Tom Colicchio. Beautiful.
That was incredible.
Credit card roulette and Leone lost.
Credit card roulette. Leone lost. You guys hadn't flown in yet. I got in there a little earlier, and it was just me and Leone that were in, and he was like, "Come along with me," and it was.
Credit card roulette. It was Leone rather against Nick Kaz.
Yeah,
and they drew Nick's credit card, so Leone paid the $3,000.
The best part about that was Leone was so excited about credit card roulette. It was, I think, his idea.
It was his idea.
On his phone, he's filming the whole thing, and we did it one at a time. The way that you can do it, where you remove it, so it builds suspense. Like, I think I was the second one removed, and I was like, "Thank God, I don't have to pay." It was, a 4-figure bill, and we got down to Leone and like 2 other people, and he passed me the phone, and then I started filming him because then he was the one that was sweating, and he ended up losing and had to pay.
It's great. It's great because everybody in, like, you guys, fantasy guys, Mike Leone, quintessentially, credit card roulette. What are my odds? I'm an odds player. I've got 6 other guys at the table. I'm 85% to win. So of course I would take that deal. I might not have to pay at all, but 15% chance I have to pay for everybody. Of course, I'll do it.
I'm sure Leone has run sims on his expected lifetime value on credit card roulette in certain scenarios.
There's an upside ceiling versus floor,
That's right.
parable through that. But, poor Mike. He'll be okay. He'll be back.
He'll be fine.
He'll be back. Well,
Mike,
he said he's run really hot, so
If you had to power rank Buffalo-based personalities within the fantasy space, how do you rank it?
Oh, well, I have to exclude myself.
No.
So
don't exclude yourself.
I'm going to. So let's just say I have to.
All right, I'll slot you in. Number 1, Mike Show.
Louis is super sharp. We have 2 more main event teams this year. We're hoping for 6 for 6 cashing. But, that doesn't put us above Nick and Sean and Dom, who's out in Colorado now, 3 childhood friends who have won the main event literally twice in a row. Like, how is that even possible? Mm-hmm. We're doing a Mastiff with them, which is looking good, but it's too early to call that. So I'd say Nick and Sean, like you wouldn't want to have to play poker against them or anything against them. Mm-hmm. Adam Krautwurst is, really sharp. I have a lot of fun with him on the Deep End podcast. Leone is already sort of an industry icon. And who am I forgetting, Pete?
Barry Noyce.
Oh, yes, of course. Very nice. Yes, the man that introduced me to high stakes fantasy football.
He's a Buffalo guy?
He's a Buffalo guy that knows Mike. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
So Adam and I started the Deep End podcast. I didn't know Adam. And the first thing we're going to do is check in on the new Draft Sharks Invitational at the time. Who's in first place? It's Pete. So all right, the first show we ever did, Pete was on. I'm like, Adam, I don't know who this guy is. So I might have said that on the radio.
I don't know who the fuck this is either.
Of course. Why would you? Why would you?
I invented this fall summer. Who's
that guy? I didn't know anything. So, AKA Barry Noyce. Noyce? How do you pronounce it? Noyce?
Very Noyce.
Noyce? How do you?
He doesn't deserve a correct pronunciation.
He's like, let me tell you who Pete is.
His name.
And with Joe, you always get like 30 texts at a time. So then I knew who you were, and I tried to sort of represent,
Wait, but how did you know Joe?
Your introduction to me was via Barry explaining who I was? Oh, that's scary.
I told you guys in Vegas, and I told Pat, I'm like, I've known him longer than any of these people. And Pat's like, who are you?
Wait. So, yeah, well, anything you tell me in Vegas, you're going to have to repeat later. What's how do you know Joe?
Joe has been a WGR listener I've been on 21 years at this point.
This is how we know Joe, because he listens to Chip Chasing.
He was a fan, and he would hear me talking about the fantasy league I was in with the station. And he's like, dude, you don't know me, but you got to get out of that kiddie league and come over with me. I'll show you what a real fantasy league looks like. So I went. And it was auction, and it was like there was a lot of stuff going on around in the room. It was at
I bet there was
Knights of Columbus, in Cheektowaga or someplace. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is the real thing. So I felt like I was really good for that league. I got a trophy back here from that league from Joe. I finished second 3 or 4 times in a row, but never won it, which I thought was hilarious. And then you would go to the draft the next year, and this is like 5 years ago at least, Pat, and somebody would be like, Andy Dalton, $2. And Joe would be like, and stomp on the floor, and like sirens would go off. It's like, I've got Johnny Walker red, instant winner for the person who bid on Andy Dalton, and the room would applaud, and there'd be cheerleaders. And it was just because I said Andy Dalton, $2. I got a bottle of Johnny Walker red. It was just, way over the top. So.
This was all before Barry left his heart in Thailand, though.
It's a different Barry.
It's still there. No doubt.
I'm pretty sure he's there right now. Literally right now.
That's incredible, though. I want to go to that auction. That sounds great.
It does sound fun.
Barry watched the New England Seattle Super Bowl at this house in here. And
you let Barry into your home? No, that's
once.
Judgment.
Once.
I lost a lot of respect for you, Mike.
Fool me once,
Only once. That's it.
I apologize. Anyone who doesn't know who Barry is very confused right now. And if you do know who Barry is, you are loving every second of this.
Yes,
Barry is
right.
a true character. So he's back in Thailand.
I don't know.
According to his Instagram.
I remember
Still
when
texting
you
you?
guys would talk about Barry on the show before I met Barry, and I felt like you're saying people feel. And now that I've met Barry, it all just it ties together.
Let me find that trophy real quick.
I'll pull up a photo of Barry and our guy Emo Cowboy at our
that's
party in
great.
Vegas.
Good God.
Also, so to give some more background on Barry, actually, this isn't even background. This is what happened this year. So we're in one of our prime
Wait,
time
hang on.
drafts.
Brian Schultz says he assumed Matthew Barry. This is not about Matthew Barry.
This is the Barry Noyce we're talking about right here. Alongside, he's not the one in the cowboy hat. He's the one in the Get Money Miami Hurricanes jersey here.
It's not even Miami Hurricanes. It's just a generic, it's got dollar signs.
Oh, you're right. It's like
It's just like it's amazing. It's such a look.
oh my
Here's
god.
the trophy.
How late was he to our draft, to our high stakes draft?
Yeah, so I was just going to tell that real quick. We did our prime
Yeah,
time.
go ahead.
I had to call him and relay his picks. He took George Pickens at the 2-3 turn.
Good pick.
Great pick. Great pick. Could have taken T. Higgins. No, take fucking George Pickens. Anyways, Mike.
Last year, so I hadn't heard from him very well. It's probably because he'll text me 500 times and I won't respond. And then once in a while I do. And I said, Joe, do you want to do a high stakes league together? So we did an NFFC, the RotoWire beat somebody, right? $350 entry. And we drafted separately because I'm not letting him back over. So we were separate teams in that draft and we went 1-2. Joe still got it. Here's the trophy. So it's, a cup, whatever, you could drink out of it, throw some beads in there. And there, can you read the...
Yeah, get it a little closer here.
Yeah.
Now we can see it. 2016 Gowinda's finest almost champion, Mike Schopp. Honestly, Barry's handwriting really impressive.
It's improved.
Really impressive.
It's improved.
What's the first place trophy like? That's a nice little second place trophy.
Yeah.
It's that guy probably. I don't know. It's he's probably just booze.
Have you guys been watching this last
Anything
30
happen when
seconds?
he came over, or you just was like, this vibe is not appropriate in my house?
No, it was fine. My wife said he's never coming back.
I would not be able to sleep at night if I knew Barry had been in my home.
He's never ever coming back here.
He's never coming.
It was
We had-
fine.
It
My
was a
wife
great-
said he's never coming back.
It was a great night too. We had sort of a gamble-thon game going where all these sort of prop bets on Patriots, Seahawks, and a couple were, this is almost 10 years ago, right? Will my daughter cry during the first half? And the guy who won, Jeremy White from WGR, our morning host, was the one guy who said, and I'm ashamed of this to this day, he said, she will not cry. And everybody else bet that she would. He deserved the money.
Oh man. Hey, Mike, so let's take a stroll together here through the Pick'em lobby here at halftime so we can get in, because we have been able to pick off some stuff here before it gets really moving. Let me see what we got here.
Now, the one thing I'll say, just a note overall, is that the Bucs are playing like total cowards right now. So we should, if we can bake that in. Anyway, they just played for a field goal that whole time. It was awful.
Every drive they played for a field goal.
Yeah, every drive. It's horrendous.
Rashod White got a 15-yard carry in there. I missed that.
First play.
Gretch, if you want to double
first
down
play.
on Baker Mayfield rushing yards, it's at 2.5 now.
Yeah, that's an easy hire. That's going over.
The Bucs are going to lose by 14 and talk about how well they did.
Yep. God.
We have nothing on the board for the Bills right now other than Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. We're going to need more than that.
Take them out, right? Like lower, if anything.
Yeah.
Man, Evans got a 30. That's pretty
I
rough.
know. It makes me.
That's rough.
Is this where we dig in our heels and just double down on?
Yeah,
with
let's just
better
play the
numbers on
exact
everything?
same slip as.
I'm down.
I
Honestly,
really
I'm
will.
down. We
I mean,
do that. It never works,
Trailing
but I'm down.
script, 23 and a half yards for Mike Evans in the second.
For
All
Mike
right, we got Buffalo stuff up.
All right, let me refresh. All right, Mike. Let's see. All right, Josh Allen, the little over 100 passing yards, 13 and a half rushing yards, 9.5 completions.
I don't mind the lower on Cook's rushing yards and bet on Murray.
Shakir only needs nine more yards. He's at 69. Currently, they have him at 78 and a half.
What is Allen's passing line?
I like that.
240 what?
They have it at 294.5. He's at 179 right now.
Oof.
That's a pretty big number.
Yep. If they score, they'll get the ball first. If
So
they score right away, and he's
Latavius Murray over is kind of interesting.
I feel like with the injury, Latavius Murray. I feel like the injury and Vita Vea out, we might and a lead. We might see Buffalo run a decent amount in the second.
Yeah.
And not Allen, who luckily
Murray hasn't gotten a ton of rushes though the last couple weeks. He plays on like passing downs, right? I was kind of wondering about him more than
they use Murray for when it's pass pro and goal line. I think they might want to get.
Okay, so is this a bad one then? Maybe we take that out.
No,
so he did have 12 carries a couple weeks ago, but every other game 6 or fewer carries. He doesn't actually get to 22 rushing yards a lot. He's done it twice in 7 games.
I think I would bet Cook.
I think Cook's over is where I would go too.
Cook
he breaks
on
one.
It feels a little high, but
it does feel high.
Yeah, I like the rushing and receiving. I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like that. He's already more than halfway there, and like we're playing that Allen's shoulder might be a little bit of an issue, and they might.
What do you guys want to kind of do? Is mirror kind of what we did and do like a 3 and a 5, and do an Evans, Shakir, James Cook as a 3, and then build a 5 with that core.
Is Shakir a trap bet?
What if we did Baker instead of Evans? Because we have Evans on both the other ones. What if Evans just gets shut out? We're going to lose everything.
Brian,
they want to get him to 1,000 yards.
We've had this talk about the rushing receiving lines. There's a reason they do it. It's because the carries can sometimes go for negative yards.
Is Shakir a trap bet? Like, are we sure he's good for 10 more?
Mean, he was getting.
I think he's good for 10.
He's running a lot of routes. Where's the Yankee tweet? Someone give me the Yankee routes tweet.
I guess the first question is: are you betting on this game to stay close?
It is right now.
Buffalo first drive, right? Like if Buffalo scores a touchdown.
What do you think they do? Schopp, do you think they stop throwing if they get up by another score?
Mostly.
Shakir's actually only about 50% of the snaps. They've been playing Trent Sherfield quite a bit, actually.
That just came down, Shakir?
It did. I mean, it's like one catch at this point.
Yeah, I still like it. Like one catch.
I do too. I'll accept that, Underdog. All right.
Do you want to do Evans there? Pete, I was saying maybe do Baker there because we have Evans in both of the other ones. If you guys like Evans more, go Evans then. That's fine.
Because it's such a lower number.
Baker Sweat seems so gross for a 3.
If it's not a blowout, I think Evans.
I was just trying to spread out our exposure. If Evans doesn't get to 30, we lose everything at this moment. But that's I'm comfortable.
But I mean, if
comfortable
Evans
with that,
if Evans stays on this number, like I guess we just don't deserve to win tonight. You know,
That's right. The fate is not a factor in this stuff. You know, there's no superstition involved.
Baker's going over, by the way. He's gone over this in every single game. Oh, he had one game where he had 1 carry for 2 yards, but every other game he rushes. He hasn't had a rush yet in this game, but he rushes in every game.
Godwin is 6.5. Godwin is 6.5. He's at 4. Isn't that working?
For receptions?
Yeah.
Get him to, so he needs 3 more to go higher. Do we like
3
that?
3 more or 22 yards, 24 yards?
Not when we're playing it to go back to
not with Evans, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, we are playing a pretty big negative game script here.
Yeah. All right, we could do it.
I'll do my
I kind of
own.
like that receptions. He's been feasting underneath a bit.
Okay, let's do
All
it.
right. All right.
Only
gonna lock
50.
this in
Yeah, I
here.
thought you were going at least.
We're going a little
250 on
light
that.
tonight. We're going a little
Yeah.
light tonight. We got the
Well,
insider
I
ink
judge it
going.
based
You're
on
going light?
our convictions, and our convictions haven't been super high on these two slips.
That's true.
I'm reading.
Although
Saturdays.
the Baker rushing over is going to hit. I'm just
Okay.
telling everyone in the chat.
If
You
you
want to
wanna
let's do
do-
the Baker rushing over with something else then. Let's do a
Yeah,
little.
I was gonna say let's do
get
a
another
two pick
taste of that.
a bigger one. Bet Gretch, this is your conviction, and what's our oops?
This is-
Get out of here, LeBron.
This is my conviction. Yeah. I don't know.
What's your
It's up to
second
3.5 yards.
conviction?
We're already getting. We're already moving the line.
Wow.
Do you want Shakir? Who's our biggest conviction? Our second one.
I don't need to take both of them. I don't know. What do you like?
No,
the
I'm
most
saying
then?
collectively. Who's our biggest?
Oh.
I do think the Shakir one catch here. For,
Yeah,
for
I
7.5
like that.
yards.
Let's do it.
All right. We're gonna lock this one in.
Look at
This
that.
is
for
two.
100,
We
little
need
two.
little two.
That's
guy?
all right.
Okay.
It's a 3xer. We're gonna.
All right.
I think Shakir's already at the airport.
What? Getting traded to Denver?
Nope, this game's
John
over.
Payton needs
It's
someone else to play ahead of Marvin
long
Mims.
weekend, a lot of stress around here. They're playing next Sunday night. I think Shakir's already at the airport.
Hey. I mean, yeah, you got to rest your studs for sure. Can't risk an injury to Shakir at this point.
He's off to Boise for a long homecoming weekend.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, it's a good thought. We've all had the thing about the rushing receiving line being the same. I literally thought I had just found a way to, take Underdog for millions. And then we talked it through. Gretch pointed out why they put.
Well,
that
I mean,
line
it
like
probably is still. I think we decided it's probably like 25% of the time it's a negative rush for receivers because of the reverses, and 75% of the time it's probably a positive. Like it's probably one you.
If it's
still
exactly
take.
even, you'd still rather take it.
I think you'd
Yeah.
still. It would just be really tilting to go over on the receiving and then have like a negative 4-yard rush, which.
Yeah.
They're only doing it for the receivers that get like one carry or no carries. It's the ones that are very low vol. It's not like a Deebo Samuel situation. They're not going to do the same line for him.
Didn't Elijah Moore have like a 21-yard loss 2 weeks ago?
That's probably why these numbers exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some weird ones.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush went an entire season with the Bills and finished in negative rushing yards.
Really?
That's
Like
insane.
nobody remembers him even being on the Bills.
Yeah.
I have a football upstairs. I can go get it. Not that
Yeah, you should.
maybe you don't believe me.
I don't.
That was punted to the sideline. Reggie Bush missed it, and my son was with me. He might have been like 6, and the ball sort of sat there. And I was down there with passes, and a photographer friend of mine said, "Just give the ball to the kid." So I handed the ball to Julius, and he held it up like this, and the ball is still upstairs, under the TV. Reggie
Nice.
Bush ball, even though he never touched it because the punt was 50 yards out of bounds.
But he saw that ball. He gave it a good look.
We have it.
What it
Let's look at it.
Before-
Let's look at this ball.
Josh Allen
Yes.
era, Mike? What is your favorite era of Bills team? Like, what was the funnest era to cover?
The Bills ever?
Yeah, from a fun standpoint.
Well, this has been incredible. The Allen years come after almost 20 years of despair, where you lose to Tom Brady twice a year and you feel like, how is this ever going to get better? And then Allen happens perfectly for the narrative as an underdog out of Wyoming when people mocked him, including myself, like he'll never be good, but okay, go Bills. And then in a year plus, he was amazing. Remember those early games? Remember when you first sort of accepted Josh Allen as great, not even fantasy great.
Mm-hmm.
And the loss to Kansas City this is really difficult and sad around here, is that was a game where if that's your team, the 13 seconds loss in the playoffs in 2021, that was the best thing you've ever seen. And then they lose on the same day. You don't even really get a chance to enjoy that. So this is probably the most fun.
Probably the best playoff game of maybe of all time, that I've ever seen. I've watched football for a really long time. I remember on Stealing Bananas, Sean and I, but I did a whole thing on the next episode after that game about like this should have been the Bills' year. They played well enough to win that game. Josh Allen played so incredible. They changed the overtime rules as a result of that game, which is not any kind of nice, fun thing for the Bills to remember. But, I mean, man, they were ready, and they played incredibly well. I was actually thinking about that game earlier when you were saying a lot of people in Buffalo feel like they're one receiver away. I was like, well, they weren't that year because Josh Allen was good enough that year. Gabe Davis had the 4 TD game in that game. That was an incredible football game. You can't play any better. And it's just like somebody had to lose, and the way the rules were, it wasn't that it came down to the coin toss, but it kind of did. Like you felt like either team was going to win with ball.
The problem in Buffalo, Ben, and this is still underneath every amount of anxiety that's existing now, is that so they're in the lead by 3, 36-33 with 13 seconds to go, and they kick it through the end zone. The special teams coach was not welcomed back after that. Whether the head coach is at fault or not, they kicked it through the end zone. No time ran out. So the Chiefs started their 25. The Bills call, it's 13 seconds left, and the Chiefs have the ball down 3 at their 25. The crowd is silent. The Bills call timeout on defense. They come back, they back up, and it's a pass to Tyreek Hill, just like an improv, 20 yards, timeout. 6 seconds left, 7 seconds left, whatever it was. So the Chiefs come out again at their 45, still down 3, 7 seconds to go in the game, and the Bills call timeout on defense again. Let's get this right. Here's your defensive head coach. This is why you have a defensive head coach. Let's get this right. And they backed up again. And then Kelsey taps his helmet, Mahomes to Kelsey, 20 yards down the field, timeout, 1 second, field goal. Like, of all the theories about those moments, I haven't heard a better one than that the Bills coaches didn't know what the score was. That they thought they were up by 4. Like, nothing has ever made sense about that strategy. You would not rush a single passer, a defensive rusher on those plays. You would never sort of back up because you think a Hail Mary is the only thing that can beat you. And then they lose the coin toss and they lose. Nobody in Buffalo cares about the coin toss. Like,
it was the possession leading to the field goal. Yeah.
You have Andy Reid, who is a witch who can draw up plays. We have a defensive head coach who blew that.
Yeah. 13 seconds. Man, I forgot how tight that was. Because the TD that Allen, I mean, God, there was so much. I just pulled up the game log, but I remember that there was a 4th down TD. It wasn't even the one with 13 seconds left. It was a drive prior where Allen on 4th and 13 gets the TD. And they go ahead. Then Mahomes scored. That's with 2 minutes left. Mahomes scores with 1:02 left.
That's the Tyreek touchdown. Right.
Yes.
Check out the 2-point play to Diggs. Allen has a run to convert a 4th down in those late moments. Then he has a 2-point. Those are both like, you can't believe this is real.
Yeah.
Especially if you're Buffalo and you've been waiting to win your whole life.
That was their year, man. And it's so hard to keep things together as like, you know, the contracts get bigger and everything. I mean, was Allen still on his rookie deal? I think that was part of the rant I was stealing Bananas at that point. You still had the quarterback on the rookie deal. Like that was their season.
Well, that's right. But we have an airport now. It's 65 degrees out on October 26th.
All right.
So it's not all lost. It's 17:10. Let's go.
I told Leone this, Mike. My flight home from Vegas.
I know. I heard.
I was rerouted to Buffalo. I landed in Buffalo for about 20 minutes. And I thought, you know, if they get us off this plane, I'm hitting up Mike, both Mikes. We're going to go get some of these Buffalo tacos I keep hearing about. But the fog cleared up and I headed home.
What a Mexican restaurant city, Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, man. Destination Buffalo Mexican food, I'm told. Mike, we appreciate you joining us. We're going to let you get on your way so you can watch the game in real time. I mean, the people are going to hear your takes.
There's the catch
on the radio.
I don't think he got to the.
He didn't get enough.
He didn't get enough.
9.5. He got 9. He got 9.
Oh my God.
9.5. I think we're a half yard short.
I still feel good about it, guys.
Yeah.
As long as you guys keep me posted on what the score of this game is, I'll look forward to watching you the rest of the night.
All right, we'll keep the score updated.
It's been an honor. Thanks, boys.
Mike,
You're
let
the man.
the people know what you where they can check you out. You got the Deep End podcast.
Well, I'll be on 4 hours again tomorrow, like every day, talking Bills on WGR Sports Radio 550. Old school, like we have ads and a boss and stuff. That'll be 3 to 7 in the afternoon. I talked to Al Michaels yesterday. If you want that, that's on the Odyssey app.
Oh,
Nice.
That's sweet.
That's
It's
cool.
sort of a regular conversation that we have with him, and that was really fun. And the Deep End in terms of fantasy football with Adam Krautwurst, Tuesday nights at 8:30 on the Player Profiler Network. But
Nice.
really enjoyed tonight.
Well, always enjoy catching up with you, Mike. You are one of the greats, and we appreciate getting to talk with you. So we will be there next year at Bare Knuckles, heckling you from the sidelines. while you pick.
I'll come over and yell at you ahead of time if you need to, get me.
Yeah.
Let me know in advance if you're actually going to be, so I'll know to be there if you actually decide to do that.
That's right. Have a great night, Mike.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Dudes, we're there on Shakir. It cleared.
We are?
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
we only need 7.5.
That was
8.5.
quick.
We need 8.5.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me pull this up here. Yeah. I
178.
whatever we had,
Nice.
we got it. Yeah.
Nice.
So that one.
We need one
that
more
feels
catch on
good.
Kincaid. It's funny because we went back and forth on the yards versus the receptions, and I think he's cleared the yards already and not the receptions yet. So
I
No
know.
way.
We were wrestling with that.
we're
one.
banking
Yeah.
on this low ADOT roll, and it's not big.
Famous
Low
last
ADOT
words.
roll.
I literally said, does he get how often does he get 3 catches for 38 or more receiving yards? That's the line he has right now. Oof.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Well-
1-3. But
Yeah.
I feel okay
I
about
think
it.
I think we're good. Yeah. I mean, we just need the Bucs not to completely roll over.
We want to. I
I
think we want a touchdown here. We need the Bucs to get their heads out of their asses. They've been playing like a game as if they're not playing the Bills. They've been playing
Yeah.
super conservative. They played you. Okay, you have 2:17 or something on the clock, and you're down a touchdown to the Bills in Buffalo, and you run Rachaad White right up the middle, and then that bleeds almost all the time before the 2-minute warning. Then they threw a little dump off pass to White, and that took us to the 2-minute, and they're sick. We got like 15 yards out of that, burned some time, and then they just played super conservative the rest of the way. Why aren't you going for
Right.
put the pedal to the floor, guys?
My Gabe Davis theory has been proven very wrong. And they're using him like Dawson Knox. Anyone else noticing this? They're doing play action, flat routes to Gabe Davis. He's their new tight end.
That they kept the exact same playbook. And we're like, why don't
Dawson
you guys?
Knox, Gabe Davis
Put
is
Gabe
running
Davis
around.
in the Dawson Knox role.
Yes.
Good God.
Anything but a.
His ADOT's gonna be a lot
Josh
lower
Allen
this week.
just did clear his fantasy points number.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
Nice.
Let's get some Kincaid though. Latavius gets stuffed. A tale as old as time.
He just got stuffed.
Mac Nova wants Steph. What if I brought you Steph? Right
there
there.
she is.
That
There you go.
look at you, Steph. You got cronies now. You got people out here demanding you get on stream. It is,
Cronies.
of course, Steph Miller.
Fans, I think you say, not cronies.
I mean, cronies is I think that's kind of a compliment. If you're so big that you got cronies, that's a good spot to be in. Steph, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I love having a fan club. Also, some of them are in my dynasty league, so they probably think I'm going to give them picks or something. No.
Oh,
Oh,
touchdown,
Gabe Davis.
Wow.
Wait,
he's
we
right.
don't have him on anything, guys.
I know.
Well, yeah, we're already over on
I don't
Allen.
know points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a
we
little
need
baseball
Evans.
bag. Be a best
It's
ball
time
bag.
for the Mike
yeah.
Evans drive. How are things going, Steph? Another busy week of waivers here.
It was a very busy week. Even though there wasn't, like I said, everything kind of cycling, it's at that point where it's kind of cycling back through. It's we dropped some guys and then they came back, and that's kind of where we're at. And we did have Chase Edmonds when we thought he was going to come off IR the first time on several teams, and then we gave up and dropped him, and
Yeah.
then we picked him up again. So yeah.
That's the
looking forward to
beauty.
picking
At
up
least
again.
fantasy waivers aren't like, pitchers when they come out in baseball. Like you are eligible to get them back on your team if you want to mulligan on that.
That's true.
But we do need to remember, Steph, as our waiver wire captain, I apologize for putting you under the gun here. What is the week that when you do drop them, they are ineligible to be picked up again?
Yes.
Like week 11 or 12?
They changed it this year. I have to look. If you make the playoffs, you can actually pick people up in the playoffs this
You're
year,
right.
I think.
If
I
you're
have to
in
look
the
at the
playoffs
exact
only.
rule. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think it's before week 11. Like I think it's the end of week 10, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'll have to double
Which
check.
is insane that that's a few weeks away at this point.
Yeah, that part blows my mind. But I was like, wait, it's really like week 8. I'm like, we're like more than halfway through the regulars.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Because I feel like I'm like, no, like we were just sitting in the draft with Barry not showing up, and
Exactly. As Dr. Evil says here, Steph has such good write-ups that I selfishly hope no one in my FFPC main leagues is reading, but I know some are. He is, of course, referencing the fabulous newsletter that is on that gets dropped in your inbox once a week. This week, a two-parter, Steph. You are now putting out multiple editions. Are you going to commit to this weekly, or was that a one?
You're hanging out with me and Gretch too much. You're right. Just
Yeah,
lengthening and
exactly.
lengthening.
Oh, you can ask my college professors. Like I've always gone over the limits on every paper. I've always been a long-winded writer. But I had people in the home leagues that were, saying that they wanted some of the information a little sooner for those because they usually run a little earlier.
Right.
So I tried to just put out the home league stuff by itself and then finish up like the write-ups of our teams and things. So I will try my best to get the home league stuff out sooner, but I can't always promise because, working a regular day job and not being home to write all day can sometimes put a damper on that. So it kind of depends, that on how things, because I work with clients. So sometimes my day goes longer than expected and sometimes it's shorter. So you never know.
Well, give us a little bit of a high level overview of the waiver wire this week. You had 2 running backs in tier 1. Let us know kind of what the landscape was looking like in week 8.
Well, you guys would probably argue to put some up there, but so we had Pierce Strong and Amari Demicato, if I'm saying that right, came back after he was a big pickup before, and then we saw Keontae, I never know how to say his name, Ingram, be the lead back, and then he wasn't. Then he played on special teams, so that's where we kind of put our guy right back on there. Pierce Strong is going to have a chance now that Ford got injured. Hunt was injured last week as well, so we think he's going to probably be the 1A, but we've liked Strong for a while, so hopefully he can get some run. We've seen Chase Edmonds.
Go Baker!
Chance.
Go Baker! Ben Gretsch new! Sorry, Steph.
No, I'm sweating. He's right with you. So we got Chase Edmonds that got some touches tonight. We picked up a lot of.
Let's go, baby! What a run!
That's our big ones that we kind of had there. People are paying like $300 again though for these, top guys. I mean, they went for a lot once again. So that could be expensive when you're paying that kind of prices after dropping them. Luckily,
are you just getting the vibe, Steph, that anyone who has money left over, they're just like, I'm either spending it now or I'm going to the grave with it?
Yeah, there seems to be like, if I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, everyone's got to be out of money on like this team or that team. And then I'll look and there's like half the team with like all their money. And I'm like, okay, so these people just aren't spending. And then the rest of them are almost out. Yeah. It's like you see those two dynamics for mostly. Sure.
And tier 2, you could tell there's a pretty big drop off. I mean, not the best waiver wire week. Definitely, kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel if you're down in this territory.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just, and I kind of said that. It's like some of it was like, okay, if you need a fill in, these guys could be a viable spot, on buys and stuff. But other than that, if you don't need a spot start, they're not really worth picking up.
Right.
Then I said I'd go more to like some high upside running back stashes that, are on good offenses that just need an injury or two. And those are probably the guys that if you have room, you want to spend your money on and pick up, especially the ones that are cheap because you can get a lot of those guys for like $1.
Yeah, this is where like team strength and team needs really starts to have more of an impact on what you should be doing. Like good teams should be stashing higher upside guys, later season guys. We had an opportunity to get Marvin Mims on one team. We didn't get him, but because
what did he end up going for, Steph? Because you mentioned that QJ and Mims were on the waivers in a few spots.
It was just one.
Okay.
It was the same. It was the same league. They were both there. Mims went for, I think it was like 390 ish, and QJ went for like 2 or close to 200.
It's nice to know some other people out there are still as bullish on those guys as we were preseason.
I know. I was kind of like, either we're going to be the only ones to bid on him, or he's going to go for a lot. But there's going to be no in between on both of them.
Well, I think it would be interesting to go and look at those teams' composition, but my guess is in the same way we're, hunting for running backs in a lot of spots, that there's teams that are in desperate need of finding some wide receiver upside, because you can make the same argument in the other direction this year that like wide receivers really thinned out, and finding guys that have a legitimate upside to stash on your bench is few and far between.
It's felt very thin. Like, do we even have, who's like that round 4 or 5 guy that's like a league winner as a wide receiver?
I mean, Ayuk is probably the closest to it.
I guess Ayuk, yeah.
That's why we were
DJ Moore kind of knocking at the door before the Fields injury.
DJ Moore is a good answer to that.
Yeah,
much as I hate to admit it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's had those couple games, but he was like, oh, he's a bust, oh, he's a smash, and then he's quiet last week with.
I know, but he's top 5 in fantasy scoring at the wide receiver position.
Yeah,
like as a result of one massive game, but it is what it is. I do think he's going to fall back, but at this point, he's the answer to that question for sure.
Yeah.
Steph, what about our teams? I mean, on the whole, this was a pretty good week for us, kind of like tabbing through our places and our total points total. Is that how you're feeling about it as well?
You didn't. So the NFC teams didn't do quite as good for the most part, but the FFPC teams were stronger. But we had, our team did good, which I can't figure out. We're a 5-2 team, but we don't have that many points. So NFFC still has us lower down. We were higher somehow last week, but we haven't lost. So I need to figure out how close we are to making something, because we have played better records.
The top team by win-loss and the tiebreakers points and everything. And then I think the next 3 are all points, if I'm not mistaken, on NFC.
Yeah, something like that, because they do it more by points than the others. Because we have like the second best record in our little division there somehow, even though our points don't reflect that. But hopefully, if Kelsey keeps having big games, that
always helps.
Really help us there.
But I mean, all of our NFFC teams being in the top 6 here is a very nice spot to be in, including our super team with Leone, which is in second place as well.
So the Chase and Go Bills team, which your stacked wide receiver is the team you tried to get those wide receivers on. So you would have never started Mims or Quentin Johnson unless there was like a fire and something really bad happened. But your Stache Chasing team, team is stacked as well, and it had a run of bad luck the last couple weeks, but you finally got the well-deserved win, because like you were like the second highest scoring team the week before when there was a head-to-head, or 2 weeks before, but like you happened to play the one team that would have beat you, like things like that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, so that Stache Chasing team, that's with Sacrilegious and Drico. We have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Sam Laporta on that team. So when you get the Mahomes Kelce nuclear week, you're going to cover a lot of ground, which was the thesis of the play when you draft those guys.
They're set up
And-
well again this week too.
And you have one running back now. Now you got Rashod back on that team, like a
Love
legit running back, because we've been plugging and playing anybody with. I don't know if you
But a
call
team
it
that
Pauls,
starts Justice
but
Hill
it's
basically every week. Yeah.
hey, that's not the only team I have starting Justice Hill. So let's.
The ship chasing minisodes team is like a fascinating one. That was one of those teams where it'd be like, why did you keep drafting wide receivers? Why do you take Jordan Addison when you have DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel? Well, it's like this is that exact spot when you start hitting some of these injuries. DK Metcalf out, Deebo Samuel out. You plug Jordan Addison in, and you keep the good times rolling.
And we had Deontay Johnson come back from injury. Although I guess he's hurt again.
He's out on injury. Yeah, I was gonna say don't look that he's hurt again. But
Knox,
I
it was nice this last week. There we go. That's
Kincaid. I said Knox.
Kincaid.
Yeah, you
I
said
was
Knox.
like, there's no
I
Knox.
was like, what? He's off IR. What the hell?
He's off my yard. He's in there catching passes. They kept him active. They full.
No, I was.
God, this A-Dot
right there.
Up on the A-Dot for Dalton Kincaid.
Yes, A-Dot's got to be like.
Sorry, what were you saying, Steph?
Oh no, I was gonna say with all the bye weeks, it was a little scary week 7, because that was probably the hardest besides week 13, but that's going to be in the playoffs. Those are the two where everybody's on bye.
Yeah. And then any other things that jumped out to you this week, either with team construction? I mean, this is a little easier week for start sits, right? With no bye weeks.
It should be, except then we have some teams that are like, really stacked at one position. That it's like literally, who do I sit?
Yeah, we had that on the Chase and Go build. We're like, we just start James Cook tonight to like make sure we don't get beat by these injuries, is Waddle and Mostert and stuff. So I think we ended up doing that, which is
we did.
Yeah, we'll see. But
yeah,
no, it's not going great. But that's the type of stuff that we have in some leagues where you're like, how do you play this? What's the right way to?
Yeah, I loved your comment. It was like, we shouldn't be deciding between James Cook and Mostert in week 8. We should be deciding between DeMarcado and whoever else you said. Like,
yeah, I said we should be deciding between Amari DeMarcado and Roschon Johnson.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird that we're deciding between two like such good players.
Wrong. Yeah.
Well, that's why that team is winning.
It's quite good. Yeah.
We're gonna have to bench one of Waddle or Mostert now because we have Cup, Amon-Ra. The rest of the lineup is flawed.
It's stacked.
That for the people we pulled it up, I think last week or the week before. This was the team where we got 4th round Cooper Kupp right before the start of the season live in Vegas, because there was all of the uncertainty. It was like, he's going to Detroit to see a specialist, and everyone's like, he might not play ever again.
No, there's like the report he's like never going to play.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if that report might be a little strong.
I will say, man, buying those teams that, if you bought the dip on both JT and Cooper Kupp, God, you are looking real good right now.
I bought a lot of JT. Well, I didn't buy that much JT dip. I bought a lot of JT in the 3rd, which was the pre-dip.
Yeah.
I didn't buy a lot of JT in like the 5th. Yeah.
Once he went to
I never saw him go that late. Well, I guess in these he did, but
in the very last days, I remember. I think I got him in like the 6th of one of those like underdog contests they launched right at the end, like a big dog 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah. That's about as lazy, like 6th, 7th.
That was a sick putt, and that putter was fired up.
And BBM and stuff, I didn't ever really see him get maybe 5th, maybe 5, 6, I guess.
There is an element to, and it makes sense. Like, well, it doesn't make sense, but the ADP anchoring on Underdog is so real that the way guys can't drop as much. Whereas on FFPC, when you're just like raw dogging it at the live main event and you don't have anything in front of you and you're like, I don't want to take JT. Whereas when you're in the applet and you're like, I don't know, man, the market says JT should still go here, even though the app hasn't refreshed the ADP in 2 days. Like that actually sticks players where they probably shouldn't be.
For sure. That's probably going to be a big talking point next offseason for Underdog, I think.
In some ways, I thought the Underdog ADP was like too sticky. That I think people were sticking. They were sticking too much to it, I think. Whereas where you would
Yeah.
see like guys who should be sliding in ADP on other sites, and they weren't. They weren't really. They were like, it was a little slow to move. So it's kind of interesting. That wasn't my feeling on it last year. This year, I think there had been a lot of content about, ADP being sharp and not straying too far from ADP. But I think people were a little gun shy on those like news-based type stuff where like, no, like you should be straying from ADP like a lot.
Yep.
There's a couple
we'll
factors
see.
with you also get the auto drafters though that also catch those falling knives.
I think it also might be like related to like how much like this is the level we're already at in best ball, like how frequently the ADP refreshes might impact things too.
Yeah.
Like if, so, we're gonna have to know refresh rates. That'll be a new buzzword for your best ball video.
Well, I even see it playing out in the Underdog weekly drafts in these micro situations, right? You get like Tyreek Hill. Like we literally went from a day ago, the Tua quote, like hope to get Tyreek back sometime down the line. It's like, what the fuck? So he's sliding 6-7 spots, and then he's back at practice, and then his ADP moves right back up. I mean, I guess I should say his ADP stayed the same the entire time because it didn't have a time to refresh, but people were letting him slide in drafts because of that. But then I would watch like an auto like tick down and take Tyreek, and I'm like, you sucker, dude. He's not going to play until 2025 . I mean, Tua's like, really?
Didn't you see what Tua said?
Did you see?
Did you see what Sue?
And meanwhile, Waddle has a legit back issue going on, and people are still letting Tyreek slide. So
yeah.
Pete, you wrote up in the Fantasy Life newsletter Bijan, right? Like different scenario, but like I was surprised. I obviously can't do these drafts, but I was surprised. I was reading that you're writing on that, and I was like, man, I can't believe he's going that late. Like that's wild.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is going ahead of him, which I thought was pretty crazy, considering they're downgrading their quarterback situation to Malik Willis.
Let me just jump in real quick and just let Schopp know that it is still 24-10.
He is exclusively watching us. He's still
I don't want to let him down.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I feel bad about talking through the bare knuckles now, but I was not the only one talking.
Yeah, defend yourself, Steph. You want to any counterclaims? Was Schopp actually making all the noise? Tell us the truth.
No, he was drafting. The rest of us who had been drinking were making all the noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Chase Edmonds.
You guys had already gone to party, so.
Chase Edmonds getting more carries inside the 10. He's gotten all of their snaps inside their own 10. The reverse green zone.
Their own 10. Reverse green zone. What do we call that?
They call him the safety preventer. This is what it is.
What's the opposite?
Is he though?
Just give him 2 carries in a row from their own 5-yard line. Like, what are we doing?
Steph, how are you feeling though overall about the portfolio? You feeling good? We're almost halfway or over halfway as far as like the waiver stuff.
I feel pretty good.
Are you liking that there's like so many teams that are kind of in the striking distance, or would you? And you can be honest. Would you rather that like half our teams were just totally dead, and then there were like really good teams that you could just focus on?
No. Because I'm bad. Like I'm bad about giving up on things. I will fight till the bitter end. Because I've gotten like when people are like, oh, there's no way you're gonna make. I mean, even in like regular leagues, and I'm like, oh no, there's a chance until it's mathematically impossible. I'm like,
I can't believe how much you're still paying attention to that ball knowers team that is not doing particularly well. But you're not lying. That's a
Steph is a completist. No soldier left behind in this portfolio.
Yeah.
I mean, I may do it last, but I still do it. No, I'm kidding. Hey, it's better than
you should definitely do ball nowhere last.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's only an FP championship team, and it was a Bengals double stack that is not. I mean, it's going about as well as the Bengals season.
I have a championship team, and that's the only team we have that's doing worse than yours, Gretch. So.
Hey, it happens.
Gretch drafted it on behalf of us. It's our team.
Yeah.
It's got like Breece Hall and Waddle and like a Bengals double stack. It's like a sick team, but it's not doing well.
Speaking of teams that are struggling, Pete, I was looking through my teams and I found the team that we drafted, that Mastiff with the 777s. Remember we drafted the 3 bye weeks, 3 quarterbacks with the bye weeks? Or no, it was a Dalmatian on Mastiff.
I was gonna say $1,000 draft.
No, I was wondering why you were like shocked.
I was like looking horrified.
Yeah. No, we drafted Stroud. Stroud was the third guy. So I actually am like psyched. We got through. We're like kind of in like we're in like the high 700s, so we're like not totally out. It's not great, but we're not like the horrendous team. And I don't know, dude. I think we could come storming back. Those three quarterbacks.
When did we draft that? Was that on Chip Chasing?
That was on Chip Chasing. I can't remember what. It was probably July or something. Okay. Gretch was on vacation or something.
All right. Steph, appreciate you as always leading the charge on waivers, keeping all of our teams in check. You guys got to follow Steph on Twitter. Where are you at right now in the Scott Fishbowl? Top 5?
I'm at 6 right now, but I'm still undefeated.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, we have 2 massive teams that we did with the ship chasing Discord, and we are not doing well. They are both.
Yeah, I check in there every once in a while.
Really off the rails. So I'm talking about doing, drafts with a bunch of. And by the way, I voted against all those picks, just about.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. I'm sure Chris G somewhere taking his victory lap on not wanting to take CeeDee Lamb at the 1-2 turn or whatever as well.
He scared us on. Herbert was the big part, which he originally wanted. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, let's just blame Chris for everything. I think that makes sense.
That's what I do. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's the right thing to do. I'm going to drop Steph's newsletter in here. Even if you aren't currently subscribed, which you should be, you can read the posts as blog posts and then get subscribed after that so you don't miss any of them in your inbox. It's fabulous, spelled with 2 A's. Get it? Like fab. .beehive.com. Steph, always a pleasure catching up. Thank you for keeping us in line and on the straight and narrow in all of these high stakes leagues.
You're welcome. Have a good night, boys, and hopefully we hit these pick'ems.
We'll be telling our grandkids about this Mike Evans drive that's about to happen. I promise.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm nervous.
See you next time.
All right. Good night.
Later, Steph.
Good night.
Let's check in on those. We hit the Baker and Shakir, the last one we threw in there.
We hit that little 2 guy. Yeah, the little 2.
Immediately, early in the third. That was
the little 2 guys. We call that a little bankroll builder right there.
That's right.
Little bankroll builder.
There's a little bankroll builder. What do we put on that little 2 guy?
In Baker, a little $100.
Little $300 hit.
That's a little bankroll builder for us.
Yeah. The Godwin's looking good. The one I'm most worried about from the second half is this James Cook.
Yeah.
40 yards. We need. We basically need a screen pass that he busts.
Yeah.
And then
that's
obviously
part of the play, though. He can do it. Boom. There he goes. There's 3 yards.
Love
it. Gabe Davis is playing the Gabe Davis role and the Dawson Knox role and getting all of that. It's amazing.
So we still have Kincaid sticking on 4, right? We need one more.
Yeah,
to clear.
Which is a push. But we're out for blood.
Yeah, we also need Evans to hit.
We need Evans. Yeah.
The thing about Evans is he can do that in one play. I mean,
that's true, man.
Know.
It's honestly true. But God, this
all right, let's get the
good.
Kincaid and just be done with it.
We did it last week with Christian Kirk. This is Christian Kirk 2.0. Mike Evans gets a 50-yard catch, goes over.
He's one of the guys I would want for this to be in the spot with. Like,
oh yeah,
there's not many Mike Evans. Like if you have to be in this spot with someone, he's a pretty good one to have.
When you're down, you're gonna get at least one deep shot to Mike Evans in double coverage, and he's like 50-50 to catch it in double coverage as well. he's very good.
All right, Kincaid, I see him. Find him, Josh. Oh.
Oof.
Josh found nothing there.
He was looking for his tight end.
I pulled up this ball knowers draft. I want to show you guys this draft.
All I remember is the Burrow double. I don't remember much else from it.
Chase, Waddle, Higgins, Breece, Burrow, DeAndre Swift. It has both Kincaid and Laporta. And then Dotson, Gabe, Bateman, Mims hasn't really panned out, and a bunch of running backs at the end.
This is like our only managed share of Gabe, isn't it?
Maybe. I was trying to get. I was trying to get some of these guys to come back. I remember I played ADP there a little bit. Bateman did come back, which was, a smash. But I mean, dude, Breece and Swift and Kincaid and Laporta. I mean, like, this team should be good, should it not?
It should be.
Well, it might be going forward. I mean, Breece
double just like sunk it early.
Right. It's like not scoring points. It's in 11th place.
Yeah.
I guess Breece didn't really help early either, but it could come back. Who knows?
I mean, Breece had a couple games, but this is the time we drafted Breece for. Coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
The Breece thesis is hitting like pretty much point for point. It's a good one.
What do you guys think about that game environment? Obviously, Jets Giants has like a 36.5 total, but Breece still looks like he's set up awesome.
Breece is set up awesome. I think. I mean, Zach Wilson like sucks. That was one of my big takeaways in the walk this week. Was like the narrative's kind of shifted on him, but it's funny because like week in week out he just is bad. Like, in the advanced stats, and so that part of it's kind of silly. We're like, and I wish that the Jets had realized that during the bye week and replaced him, because that's gonna hamper Breece for the rest of the season. But I think they will attack on the ground. I think the Giants have kind of gotten it together more in pass defense than run defense. So I think Breece will be in good shape, and I think they're going to feed him in a way. Like they had him in like a lead back role heading into the bye. And I think that if anything, he'll probably ramp up. And one of the cool things heading into the bye was that he finally got used a lot on routes. That he was getting used more in the 2-minute situations. And so, I was never that worried that Michael Carter would just be like ahead of him as a pass down back. Like they don't even like Michael Carter that much, but it's nice to see. So I feel pretty good about Breece this week. He's going to be a little bit more boom bust than I was hoping, but that is what it is.
What a bad sack on 2nd and 1.
Wasn't that the end of the third quarter? Why did they snap that?
Yeah.
Did they have to snap that?
Mm-mm.
Did you guys see the Dalvin Cook thing from this afternoon where he said he was huddling with his agent about possible trade stuff? It's like what the Bills did is exactly what they said they would do. Like what
Jets?
did they take Dalvin Cook that was different than what they've done?
No,
I don't know. It was weird. Weird.
They're like, we're gonna let you carry the rock for the first 4 or 5 weeks until he's ready. I mean, they said that all along.
They said
the
that
funniest
all along.
part of the quote was he was like, this is not the role that I thought. It was like, what are you talking about? You signed with a team that has an elite young back. Like, what did you expect? That you were going to just displace Breece Hall?
Also, like, if you want to displace Breece Hall, like, be good. Don't be horrible. Like that's
this whole thing about I need more carries to like get into a rhythm. Like if you need more carries to get into a rhythm, don't go to the place that has Breece Hall, right? Like
go to the Bucs.
Go to the Bucs.
Also, like, congratulations on your rhythm, but like you're still not going to be as good as Breece Hall's been. So it's not worth it to the Jets to like feed.
It's super weird for him to say that too. It's a great point with how good Breece Hall's been. Like unquestionably explosive, making dudes miss, like unblocked defenders at the line of scrimmage and going for 80 yards like a few times already.
Yeah, imagine him in a rhythm. That seems like a lot of.
I want to get him in more touches.
Let's see what his rhythm looks like.
What he can do after 20 carries.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
If you put yourself in his shoes too, right? Like I would like to give him the credit of being like, hey, these fellow running backs, no talent, game recognized game. Like Dalvin Cook has to know Breece Hall is a stone cold baller. And so if that thesis is true, did he just think like, you know what? I'm kind of betting against Breece coming back off of these injuries. Like, I just don't think he's going to have it coming back.
Dude, they gave him the bag. He was never going to get that much money anywhere else. He was going around saying, I want $10 million, 2 years, $10 million a year.
Frustrated. He has no reason to be frustrated. He got paid, and Breece is a
I
baller.
think maybe part of it is the Aaron Rodgers thing too, right? Like, they gave him the bag, and Rodgers wanted him, right? Reportedly, like, Rodgers liked him. They played in the NFC North together for a long time. And then now Rodgers is hurt, and it's like, I mean, you don't even have your buddy at quarterback.
Yeah. And I also think like he clearly blew it. He should have gone to the Dolphins for like $4 million, $3 million, whatever, honestly, because like the thing that stinks for Cook is that like this
he would have gotten tucked there though too.
He probably would. I mean, definitely by A-Chain for sure, and by Mostert. You're right, but at least like he probably would have looked okay out on the field.
Yeah.
And here he's looked horrible, and now he's looked horrible. That's the tape that you're going to get from like when he goes out to teams next year. That's the tape he's going to have in his hand, and he knows that's it. Like he's not getting any more tape now. So I think that's the frustration. You're like, shit. Like I didn't want this to be my last contract, and
I think it's fine for him to be frustrated, like privately. Like everyone wants to be the lead back and get all these carries, but to like publicly be like, I'm angling for a trade right now, that is absurd.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The Bills about to go for it on 4th and 4 and show more aggressive around midfield and show more aggressiveness than Bowles.
How about Kincaid? How about we just get
this Kincaid would be great here.
Top of the screen.
Yep. They're just trying to draw him off sides, I think.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The Bucs, man, they're so scared. They're so cowardly.
Ugh.
I wish they would have went for it. That would have been really fun. But we do need the Bucs to have the ball. The punt is actually better for our sweats, I think.
For us, for sure. I mean, for one thing, a push is not as bad as a loss. So let's get that Evans locked in, and then we can.
Right. We got to get the Evans. And then, I mean, if the Bucs score at this point, that's when you get more James Cook on the next drive, too. Like, get it to 7 points, and then they're like, we need to get our best back the ball, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Evans,
we got to get Evans going. What's
big moment. Yeah.
Got to get some targets for him on this drive.
What else are we looking at? Is that all we have right now? Is Evans and Cook sweats? And Kincaid?
So the Cook Evans one for the second half is big. So it's Cook Evans in the first half, and then just Cook Evans in the second half, Evans in the.
Is the fiver from the start of the game?
It's still live, although Rachaad White's knocking at the door, 6 yards.
Yeah.
But it's still the Evans there is huge, because even if Rachaad White stays lower and Evans gets there, then it still just knocks down to a 4-leg.
Yeah.
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 And then the one other one is Godwin on that.
Yeah.
Fiver at halftime. Do we do a fiver at halftime? And we need Godwin another 2 catches. Is that right?
Yeah.
We need over 6.5, and we're at 5. Okay.
Also, I see you guys in the chat. Some of you got 4.5. I know it closed there. I will do a plug. Ship Chasing Discord. We post the pick'ems in there before we post them on Twitter. So the Ship Chasing VIPs are always going to get first crack at that stuff before it moves. But I honestly think that line movement was more when that Roto World report came out about them having no active tight ends, and they pushed
that's
it
when it moved.
But we did share it in the Discord about an hour before that. We normally huddle around 3 p.m. I would say on Thursdays, and get those shared out by 3:30 to 4 if you want to get first crack at what we're doing here. But yeah, I mean, the Mike Evans is this week's Christian Kirk, as far as like, it looks kind of bleak, but it can get there very quickly. Exactly. 98 yards to the fucking house, Mike Evans, one time.
That's it. Woo! But first we need 2 short Godwin catches, so maybe 88 yards to the fucking house.
That's true.
What's the guy one tied with? Is that what tied with the Cook stuff? James Cook stuff?
James Cook. Let me pull this
and
up.
Evans.
Yeah, so we need 2 more receptions on this one, but it is the Cook. The Cook he is up to 60. He had that nice run there, so it's just 26.5. I mean, if we just get one good Bucs drive that results in a score, I mean, we're very live from a game script perspective.
I think Cook's going to get more touch. He's only at 10 carries. Like, they'll give him another 5+ carries.
Yeah.
Especially if he runs the ball well. I mean, he can get there, and they might run a screen to him. It's weird that he only has 1 target, 1 catch so far. Gabe Davis, 11 targets, 9 receptions. Who was talking about him being in a worse spot tonight at the start of this show?
How we feel about Rashod unders? I mean, they can't run the ball up the middle now, right?
No, I don't know that they really will run. They'll throw to him.
Bowles is a madman.
They can, and they probably will run the ball at the middle. They're just trying to get out of here losing by 10 or less. They're trying. Right. They're playing to screw over Schopp. That's what they're trying to do here. They don't care. They're not trying to win.
Baker,
safety.
Baker.
He took a safety. His knee was down. Oh my God. He just took a safety. Dude, they're going to review that. His knee was down before he threw that. That's a safety. Oh my God, Baker. You donkey.
No, it was out.
Oh,
he got
knee
out.
was up.
So close. It was so close.
Look at that. Look at the ankle strength. Yeah. Holy cow. The knee was flexed, but he had it up.
Have some respect for Baker's ankles.
All right. Sorry. Jeez, that was incredible.
Come on.
Wow. The knee was flexed down there, but that was some ankle strength.
Baker. Look at those rushing yards.
The rushing yards.
Rushing higher.
We're already over that one, man. Come on.
Forever. First play of the second half, and he got it. I mean, the fact that he went
just run like 10 different Baker higher rush yards with other random stuff?
The fact that he didn't run in the whole first half and we got 2.5 at halftime was honestly a massive gift. He's gotten 3 carries for 19 yards and 15 plays in the second half.
Guys,
right, 3rd and 4.
It's a big 3rd and 4. We can't have them punting this off right now.
I think Mike Evans would be a good target on
Mike Evans seems like a great.
Seems like a good target. Here. He's in the slot, isn't he? Is that,
yeah.
Him?
He is. Big slot.
Okay.
Baker.
Oh, wow. Bozo. Yikes. Come on. Oh,
they've only run 9 plays in the second half. And 3 of them have been Baker scrambles. They're not.
I'll watch Evans on this replay and tilt.
He should have broken in. Look,
if he breaks in, no one's in the middle of the field.
Why didn't he break in?
Because that's not the play call, I don't think.
Probably. Give him an option route already, please.
Would have been great if it was an option. Yeah, it would have worked.
No, you're right. I'm sure that wasn't the play. I'm sure he wasn't.
I think his route wasn't out.
All right, here's the James Cook drive.
I love that. Why didn't he just break in? Probably because he's just running out.
Because the quarterback also knows his route, and he has to go where the quarterback thinks he's going. Unless it's an option.
That's the whole play.
He breaks in, the throw goes to the out, right to the defender.
Pick 6. I was open,
man.
Who was it? Was it Chad Ochocinco who just kind of make it up as he went?
I don't know.
Sounds right.
Freestyle routes.
I thought he had I think he had a reputation for freelancing.
Yeah.
Apologies to Ochocinco if I'm wrong about that.
There's definitely some
changed his
receivers
last name to Ocho Cinco. Had a propensity for improvising on routes. Who would have saw that?
Diggs is a guy who has a propensity for that for sure.
I mean, the name change to Ocho Cinco is one of the most hilarious moves ever done by an NFL player. Yeah. He wore 85 and he made them put Ocho. He made the NFL put Ocho Cinco on the back. That is fucking hilarious. Good for Ocho Cinco.
From a branding perspective, it's stuck. We all say Ocho Cinco. No one says Chad Johnson.
That's his Twitter handle. Do you guys follow him? I follow him. I've followed him for years. He's a great follow. You need to follow him. I'm telling you.
I do need to follow.
Juxtapose that with
I don't even follow a lot of athletes, but he is one of 5.
I'm gonna hit him with the follow right now.
Robbie Chosen changes his name once every 6 months, and no one even knows. If he just changed it to Once, I mean, that would have stuck. Robbie Once, he should honestly just do that.
He should just do that.
Do the number. Do the Spanish number. Dude, Robbie Once sounds fucking sick too. Robbie Once.
Well,
there it is.
It does kind of sound good.
Free idea for Robbie Chosen. Change your name to Robbie.
Because the Ocho Cinco is so funny because it's not right? Isn't it? It's not what 85 is.
It is 85.
Is it? Okay. I thought it was incorrect.
I mean, it's what?
I thought it was incorrect.
It's like saying it's 8-5 is how it's saying it. Yeah.
Right,
Once though is 11. It would be very good. Chosen Once. Chosen
Once. Yeah, I mean that's
I
pretty
chose
awesome.
my name one. Yeah.
Once. That's great.
Yeah.
Robbie Arcega Once.
Is Arcega Whiteside on our NFL roster right now or practice squad?
Probably. Didn't he try to convert to tight end?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't I think he came to the Seahawks.
He's one of the first guys that really like kind of imprinted like the emphasized in my mind the importance of yards per out run and targets per out run, because he was like, I was like, oh my God, like realizing how many routes JJ Arcega Whiteside had run as like a rookie, I think, and it's like a lot. Like he ran like a lot of routes and was just like never ever targeted. I was like, oh no, like this dude is never gonna happen.
All right, James Cook drive. Got a half a yard. Great start.
We're on our way.
Let me pull up his yards per route run as a rookie. It was pretty nuts.
He was a Stanford guy, wasn't he?
Yep.
Dude, do you know? And you know the other? Let's see.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how many receptions and yards and touchdowns JJ Arcega Whiteside had.
Okay. We have to guess routes.
In his rookie season, you guys are going to guess routes.
Okay.
All right, so he had, I'll tell you targets too. He had 19 targets, 10 receptions, 169 yards, and 1 touchdown. How many
169
routes?
yards. 10. You said how many targets?
19 targets.
I always say like a 10% targets per out run is like as low as it can get. So, I mean, it would be like 190. If you use a lot more than 200 routes, that's a really egregious targets per out run. So I'm going to say 250.
250, okay.
275.
JJ Whiteside ran 312 routes in his rookie season.
19 targets!
Yeah.
He had 19 targets on 312.
That's a 6% targets per route run. That is a yards per route run of 0.54 as a wide receiver.
Incredible.
Oh,
The cardio king.
The cardio king.
Beautiful.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. You were like, I can't. You maxed out.
I tried. I pushed it.
You did. You pushed it. And you still
way higher. And then Pete went higher. And then it was still higher.
Yeah. Oh my God. You came up 62 routes short.
Right. I knew I was still going to undersell it, but I was like, this is the highest I can reasonably guess. Oh my God. 19 targets on 300 plus routes. That's
crazy,
so bad.
So bad.
Kincaid, let's go.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. That
But he
feels
didn't
good.
convert.
There it
We're
is.
going to punt. We need some Evans. All right.
That's good for us. That was great. That was ideal.
Yes.
That was very good. Let's go.
Okay.
Right,
we
the
just
Mike
need
Evans
Evans
drive.
now.
That will be telling. Are they going to do? Are they actually going for it? Or are they doing the draw offsides thing?
They're going to do the delay game.
We're going to do the draw again.
I mean, we'll take James Cook blows through the line for 42-yard TD. We'll take that.
Yeah, we will.
This would be
take
bad
that.
if they convert because they're going to run time.
Yeah, you're right. We either need a James Cook TD or stuff. No in between.
They're punting.
They're
not making that very compelling. Like, if they jumped off sides there, that would have just been on them.
Guys, so we're right back in the same like Christian Kirk territory.
Yes.
Yep.
With Mike Evans, like near identical. If we get the Evans big play and then Rashod stays,
I think Rashod's staying under. Like, are they going to call a run? Why would they call a run? They're down 14.
Todd
They're
Bowles has
cowards.
to be scared.
I mean, they are cowards. So don't forget.
Yeah. But man, let's get the Mike Evans drive.
Yeah, I'd feel better. We talked with White. We were back and forth between the yards and the carries, and it was 12.5. I'd feel better, obviously, if we had that. He only has 9 carries. He's not getting 12.5.
He's not getting it.
Yeah, I'd feel better about that too. But part of our bet was that he's going to suck. Like we were like when we looked through this,
and he's actually been efficient. This is the best he's looked in weeks. He's obviously scared of Chase Edmonds being back. I mean, I would be scared.
Yeah. Well, what you didn't account for, Ben, was the light of fire narrative, and they brought Edmonds back. They talked him up, and it lit a fire.
I didn't. It lit a fire right under Rachaad White's ass. He also had that long run that got called back by penalty. I mean, he has been legitimately
pretty good.
The best that I've seen him in weeks.
No, I mean he's been legitimately terrible as a rusher this season. Like it's
well, and he doesn't even run hard. It's like it's difficult to watch. It's it's like dancing in the backfield. But tonight he's been hitting holes decisively. I've been impressed.
Yeah, he kind of does the thing where he runs up. I hate this too.
Yeah,
and Sam Sherman has been just tilting what a terrible watch Rashod White is, and you're not wrong, Sam, because he'll run right up to the start of the line. Yeah, so he's lost all his momentum.
Is anyone excited about watching Rachaad White though?
And he's just like, and then it's a 1 yard gain. Yeah,
I hope a hole opens up. I hope a hole opens up. It's not going to open up for shot, and you're too close to the line at this point to see a hole, even if it did. Just make your decision earlier.
He's the perfect example of why Sean has argued for a while now that so people think yards before contact is the line stat and yards after contact is the running back stat, or at least it gets shared that way on Twitter quite a bit. And I mean, it obviously the line impacts it, but he's a perfect example. And then there's inverse examples too of why the yards before contact stat is a running back stat. Like there are running backs who are able to hit holes at speed and get yards before contact consistently, even when it's not necessarily blocked particularly well. They get there, you know?
Yeah.
That's what he said. So Sean has talked about this. He used to write for PFF really early in his career, and that's when Jamal Charles was in the league and stuff, and I think that's when he first fell in love with the stat, because he always talks about Jamal Charles used to always be, and probably PFF was the only one doing it back then, but would always be really good in yards before contact. That was what Charles was like a stud at. And Chris Johnson. Both those dudes were consistently like really high in yards before contact. They didn't need to break tackles. They would just like hit holes. And that's what he loved about DeAndre Swift this offseason. That's why he was his number 1 0 RB guy, because he's always been great at that. And the Eagles situation and line and everything
is
perfect for it. Miles Sanders was really high in yards before, but not in yards after last year, and was like probably a product of the Eagles run blocking system. And Swift has shown that's obviously a great fit.
You know what's funny about Swift is like looking at the rush yards over expected on NFL Next Gen, which is probably my favorite of the running back metrics, is use the player tracking data and just like having tracked this stuff over the years. I think it's a pretty good one. It's like pretty useful, but rush yards over expected, he's not very good in this year, and he's usually pretty good in that. That's like kind of more of your explosiveness metric. Mm-hmm. But then success rate is where he's always been shit. He's like a boom bust runner. Yeah. And that's like one of the reasons the Lions kind of gave up on him.
No, they ran into him.
I'm telling you, man, they're total cowards. This is just
he did the thing though. He saw a defender and he just stopped. He didn't even try to run through it. But it was already, I think, getting blown dead or something. Anyway, so Swift's success rate
and bad in rush yards are expected. He's flipped. Weird. He's like been, which I think is probably good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's like you feel
the long plays will come.
He's explosive. Yeah. The fact that he's been consistent is a good thing, and the long plays will come. But it is just kind of funny that like he's like the exact opposite profile now.
Yeah, that is funny. But that was sort of my hope with Edmonds, and with your stuff about the line being bad in Tampa was like maybe Edmonds will be better yards before contact than what we've seen from White. But White's been kind of explosive in this game in terms of hitting.
Oh, come on.
What was that?
Silly me thinking that was a target for Mike Evans and not Trey Palmer.
Ugh. So that White run got, what was a false
start? I think it was a false start. Half the distance to the goal. Now it was 1st and 14. Now it's 2nd and 14.
Man, this Bucs offense is just
Tyler. I'm not even hungry for Taco Bell, but I still will order it if we hit both of these.
Yeah, I will too. I'm gonna. Well,
I will send one to somebody in the audience. I already said that.
Oh, all right, whatever. Rachaad White, get the first, Rashad. There you go.
Yes.
Good. We needed that.
Good. Yeah, we'll take it. Give Baker some room.
If you guys missed it this week, definitely you need to be checking out Stache Chasing. That airs live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for YouTube members, and then we make it available public via audio and video on Wednesday mornings. But Sacrilegious and Draco doing such a good job. It is an awesome that my two primers for the week are Stealing Signals and Stache Chasing, and those are the two things that get you ready.
Evan Steep, come on.
Get him. Yes!
Yeah! Yes, baby! Yes! No flag!
What's the flag? Don't do it.
There was too much time in the pocket for that to not be a hole. And he's saying something. Oh, he was calling for somebody to come on for him. Fuck.
That was it. No fucking way.
God damn it. Oh.
Are you fucking
He just went down. He didn't pull him to the ground. The D tackle just lost his footing. I don't know what a hold is, honestly. That's one area I don't know ball. I never fucking know. But that did not look like a hold. Somebody who's got the sound up, tell me if they're saying that's a bad call on the broadcast.
God damn it.
That's it. I'm ordering Taco Bell and delivering it to the wrong house. That's hilarious. That did not.
Dude, that's so fucking gross.
Chase Edmonds season. That did not look to me like a hold at all. It just looked like a guy taking a dive, and then they call it when you drag him to the ground, but he went down on his own.
God.
There, Paula Dare. I played a line. That's a Bush call. They said he held the jersey. Joe King is saying. Yeah, refs don't know.
These refs don't know ball, man. It's as simple as that. That's so bad.
How many yards was that? Is that
it was
45?
It was enough. Yeah.
You think it was over? Yeah.
I think
it was over 50?
I don't know if it was 50.
I think it would have been honestly real close.
Chase Edmonds. Oh man, he just juked himself out. God, he's so good.
Man,
it looked a little like LaShawn McCoy there. You know, McCoy would kind of.
That's right. Yeah, it did.
You know what I mean?
So chat saying it was a 41. Yeah. If there's any silver lining, that would have gotten us a 48. Which, don't get me wrong, I want that.
That's not a silver lining at all. That got called back. That would be. I would feel.
Let me just cope.
Evans was at 48 yards.
Let me cope.
God, what a shit call! All right, Evans, bottom of the screen. Come on.
Find it, Baker.
Evans. No.
Baker is in full-on dump-off mode right now.
God.
Especially on 3rd and 4. All right. It's bomb time. Let's go.
You're saying
that wouldn't even have put us over, Pete?
No. But it would have gotten us really close.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to.
All right, Evans, bottom of the screen.
Evans, bomb. You got to take a shot.
Not even looking at him.
Who is
Did he catch that? Is that Rashod Bateman?
It's Raheem Jarrett.
He wore 18. That's what. Remember?
$200 tonight on the showdown slate.
He's the guy in my showdown lineup.
That I learned about for the first time when I put him in my showdown lineup.
Got his feet in.
Dude, he's not even looking.
Throwing to.
First read targets, please.
Yeah. Where's Kate?
Why don't you look at the guy? God damn it.
That was.
Yeah, we need 2 drives.
So brutal.
That's what I was doing in my head too, Tommy. We went too far forward. Now we need 2 drives. We couldn't even get a long TD at this point.
There he
is. That's White.
I thought it was at first, but
Palmer.
Who was it? Palmer, not White.
Thanks, Leone. Where is Leone? I thought he was stopping by tonight.
He's too depressed.
Bills are up like 14.
He doesn't have the same sweat.
He wanted Chase Edmonds to be the bell cow back.
Come on.
Exactly. I'm glad everyone's coming around on this take.
Habits.
God,
No,
Baker.
Not even looking.
Oh, wait. Actually, that got us. Did that get us back far enough? No, not quite. What do we need? How many yards do we need?
It's on the
51.
screen. We need a 51-yard reception.
Well, this is only going to be 45, and then we'll get 6 more next drive. That'll be great.
Just enjoy my take of the silver lining on that not hitting and getting within 8 yards and then not.
I'm
getting
not.
it.
I wish
just take it.
so much that was not.
Nah wave.
Guys, take this silver lining.
We still got another drive. They got 3 timeouts. Like, there would still be a lot. That would have been big.
Baker.
Oh, God. They called it QB draw, and he ran into his freaking lineman. Gross. That was gross.
Actually, no, I refuse to do the silver lining thing because this would have smashed all of our second half ones. I take it all back.
Yeah, we would have cleared all
Why
the
didn't
second
anyone bring that up?
That was
such a ridiculous take.
Yeah. The other ones wouldn't have smashed. Oh, was there other? The 3
we
picks
would
for
have
900.
cleared all the second half Evans on that one play.
But we don't have
still would have
Cook
needed
yet.
Cook to get 27.
That's true, but still would have.
But this one right here, 3 picks for 900 at the bottom. Allen Kincaid have already hit. That was a halftime one. That's the main. That's the core. Yeah.
Dude.
What's the flag?
And the other one we did at halftime has Godwin in it. And we don't have that yet either.
Baker looks lost.
All right, they get another extension on this drive.
They're actually taking too much time. I don't think they're going to get the ball back.
Right. They have taken like a lot of time on this drive.
But that's kind of what I mean about them being cowards. Like, they're not even playing.
They got the ball with 10:05.
Yeah, that's
right. 4 minutes left, and they're at like midfield. Like, what?
Yeah.
How have you?
They're not playing
6 minutes?
like you would play if you're actually like.
They're not snapping the ball with enough time on the play clock. Like, everything is wrong. Like, how are you running 40 seconds every snap?
Because they're trying to get out of here with a 7-point loss, and they're like, we lost the Bills. You know, that's how it goes.
At least the clock has stopped at this point because we're under 5 minutes. But man, they got the ball with 10 minutes left.
Oh,
you suck. Who is that?
Otten?
Some fucking
Tanner Hudson?
Oh, maybe Hudson.
Is Sweeney on that team? Tommy Sweeney? He used to be on the Bills.
It's funny how like long random dudes stick around.
Payne Durham.
Like, we're gonna hear Payne Durham for like 3 more years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's gonna be just on some
in
random
3 years
team.
doing this
3 years down the line.
How many routes did Payne Durham run?
Yeah.
God, why are you throwing to Otten there? You have to score quickly. How have they taken this much time?
Because they don't care.
Oh my God.
It might as well be practice. This is like a
the clock just
is Todd Bowles coaching?
Right? What are we?
Is he awake? Was that a wax museum sculpture?
He wants the clock to run down. This is good. They want to score once and go home. That's what they're trying to do.
Always look like he's asleep standing up. I don't think I've ever seen him move.
Yeah, let's keep taking some time here. What was that?
Oh.
I would call intentional grounding on that.
I want to call intentional grounding on Todd Bowles.
I want to know who he was trying to throw that to, because I think he was just throwing that in between.
They would have saved 20 seconds and it would have been the same effect.
This is insane. 7 minutes off the clock on this drive. Like, they're trying to run the clock out. 7 minutes. And they're still only at the 40. Like, they're not even close to scoring. Oh, man.
Evan's not even on the field.
He's not even on the field.
What is this? What?
That looked like, I'm not kidding, that looked like a bit. That was like, guys, let's just like run around. Let's run around and like wrestle. Like, what are we doing?
That was an SNL skit.
It was like literally.
Oh my
yakking
God.
stacks over
Oh
that.
my
That'd be
God.
great.
Did they call
Fairfield
another
failed out
defensive
face
penalty? Oh yes. Oh yes. Personal foul, face mask.
God damn it!
Yes, this continues. The drive that would never end continues.
This is the worst drive I've ever seen. God, this Bucs team sucks.
It really is like it's wild. So many of these teams that I mentioned it that I've like never seen the Falcons have a full drive because they're never shown on red zone. Like I haven't been forced to watch this Bucs team really at all this year, and I'm just realizing how painful it is in this very moment.
Bad.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen. They've actually been interesting some games, but this is horrible.
All right, Evans top of the screen.
Dude, I'm telling you, a 25-yard Evans TD is just pure
That's
tilt.
just
I don't
tilt.
even.
Yeah.
There it is.
Here it is. There it is.
Oh my God.
Why did he just throw it to him in double coverage all game?
Oh,
That was almost so sick. He almost caught that, and then we wouldn't have won.
so we need 24 yards. Was that a 24-yard reception?
easily.
Okay, yeah.
I
So that
think
would've been
exactly
good, though.
24.
Oh,
That's what we need for the.
would that have been a catch if it didn't get punched out? Did
Yeah, he got
some
both
feet in?
feet in.
So I think his feet were in.
That look on Evan's face is how we all feel right now. And now he's out of
Yeah.
the game on 2nd and 10 because he had one sprint into the end zone. Jesus.
He's right at the 24. Wow.
I mean, it's like 30, you know.
What was that? Dude, Evans only has 3 targets tonight. That's egregious.
Well,
They
he
must
also has
be
that target
rolling
that was called
safety.
that. He kind of has 4.
Are they just rolling a safety over top of him every single time?
Fire Todd Bowles.
We need JJ Zacharyason's bit that we didn't realize Evans was going to retire before the game.
Evans not even in on
Evans
third
bottom
down.
of the screen every time. Dude, Baker only looks.
Dude, Evans wasn't in there, Pat.
What, he wasn't? I thought he was bottom of the screen.
No. I think that was Trey
Shit.
Palmer.
Well, either way, the dude never looks left. He's not an ambi thrower.
Mitch Trubisky.
But then why have Evans on the bottom the whole time?
Shocked they aren't kicking a field goal. I am too. That's a great goal.
All right, Evans there. Finally
There he
back
is
on.
in the slot.
Top of the
24
screen.
yard
This is
TD.
our chance.
Here it is.
our chance with
24.
Evans.
Is this on the dot at 24? I think it's
Yes.
exactly
Yeah.
at
Who
24.
called the timeout? God, dude, there's
Bills
2 minutes
did.
and 51 seconds left. They're down by 14. This is so embarrassing for them.
It's very bad.
They're not even pretending to try to win this game.
Mike Evans TD, onside kick, followed by another Mike Evans TD. We all get naked and order Taco Bell. Who says no?
I haven't even started narrating the walkthrough.
Wow. And that's normally in my inbox when I wake up in the morning.
Well, it still might be, but I'm going to be going to bed late.
Whenever you
It's
go
all
to bed, the Bucs are still going to be driving.
Yeah.
This is the fucking longest drive in the history.
Seriously.
What is happening? I mean, because the clock has stopped a good number of times. They've had the ball for 16 plays for 68 yards.
Evans!
There it is.
Oh! All right. All right.
God!
They
It's
didn't
so-
call the push off. That was offensive PI.
Okay.
We'll take it.
We're alive. We just need them to get the ball back by some miracle. I mean, how many
Oh
timeouts do
my
they have?
God.
That was off
Oh,
the
how-
helmet. That's a great catch.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
dude. What a stud. Good for Evans.
We still need the Cook stuff. Look at this push off.
We do.
That's offensive PI. That's an extended arm, but we'll take it.
All right. So the Buccaneers have no timeouts. Is that right? So they're going to onside kick. How do they not have any timeout? How do they burn all their timeouts? And
Yes. No, they have 3 timeouts.
they do?
They have it in the weird slant on the screen. The Bills have Bucs have all
Sweet.
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
All right, so
they had it
Evans
up top.
clears. Evans clears the second half line by a half a yard.
Amazing.
Uh,
So what do we need to get another hit?
dude,
Honestly,
I mean,
we need Evans again. Evans
We
is
need
by
Evans.
far the easiest. Yeah.
They're not going to get the
Dude.
ball back. What do we need from Cook in that one there?
So we need Cook to get 20,
27
25 yards,
yards.
26
He's-
yards. Yeah.
He's just going to slide if he gets a first down. There's no
Yeah,
way.
he's not going to
he
get
was.
27 yards.
We need a 3 and out, and then Evans.
Yeah, we do.
That's
We
what
need a 3 and out in Evans. That's right.
Yeah. 3 and out and Evans is our only.
Bill Barnwell with a really great tweet. The Bucs are playing like they actually get to add the 8.5 points on at the end.
That's
Yes.
really funny.
Yes. Thank you,
That's
Bill.
exactly right.
That's exactly what is happening.
They're playing like they actually get the spread added onto their score.
This Mike Evans game is like a testament to best ball, where it's just like, you just don't look at it, man. Mike Evans is just going to get there no matter what. Just don't watch how it happens, because this would be the most agonizing sweat of your life.
That's so true.
I've never seen a worse 96-yard 8-point drive in my life. It was egregious.
Honestly,
even the 2-point conversion was batted down.
It's
Can I
actually
have-
crazy.
Yeah, jeez.
Kevin says Davis didn't get to see that Barnwell tweet. Sad. It's be tough
Yeah.
for Davis to win something with Odell Beckham, man.
I know. Good luck with that.
You know what would be a real like a real badass move from Davis? And I don't know how he'd ever pull this off, but this Davis, this is like a life goal, right? Figure out a way to and it could be like a video game thing, streaming thing, figure out a way to do something with
Odell
Beckham, right? Like play Call of Duty and on a team and win with Odell Beckham. And it's there you go. That's because
Yeah.
I don't think you're doing it with him as a football player.
And I think Bill would respect the bit and unblock him based on the effort. So Evans caught this touchdown pass after the ball bounced on the Bills defender helmet, and then the 2-point conversion was caught after a tip ball too. Oh my God.
Chat wants to watch Davis play Call of Duty, so we have that going for us there.
I could see Davis always talks about it. If he was the one who won BBF3, I could see Davis just being like a fucking Twitch streamer that just plays video games and just kind of shoots the shit for 4 hours a day.
He'd be good at that, man. He'd be good at that. You just throw Davis
Get
on.
more views than Lenny. See Lenny out here? It's 2
Yeah,
people watching
zero
his live
views.
streams.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. We need a 3 and out, guys. They just
All right,
had
here we
a
go.
penalty and had to kick off from 15 yards further deep, and the Bills could have got a really nice return field position, and Khalil Shakir just basically caught the kick and went down. They are not trying to get yards right now. He could have got to the 50, and he was I'm not fumbling. I'm just going to kneel.
Honestly,
tough.
I'm
This is
fine
tough.
with just punting it back.
Yeah, we got to get
once more.
That's our sweat right now.
Okay.
Honestly, I would also take James Cook, just a pure class. No, there's no way it works.
No,
There's no
no.
way it works.
It has to be Evans, I think.
Yeah.
How many yards does he have now?
He's at 31.
Okay.
So we need
27.
26-yard catch. Yeah.
Yeah.
27-yard catch to get to 58 yards. I will say, at least, the Monday night game, if we were doing a shipcast for Bills Giants, that would have been fucking brutal. This is
That
at
would've
least
been terrible.
entertaining.
Thursdays. And honestly, I don't think I enjoyed Thursday night games as much last year, but the shipcast is great, man. This is actually, it makes the Thursday night games.
Well, even the tilting games are fun because we have something to tilt.
Yeah,
Right.
but at least we had like some points, like this isn't.
Ooh, throwing the ball.
Get him. Okay.
Down.
Okay.
Timeout. Why are you not calling a timeout?
Are they? No, do they have?
Yeah, they did, I thought.
He just ran like 7 seconds off the clock. What are they doing?
It's just 7 seconds. What's the point? Just get the timeout whenever you can,
Todd Bowles is looking at a sheet like, do I call the timeout here or do I wait till the 2-minute warning? I don't know what to do. Somebody tell me. Do I use a timeout?
Somebody tell me. Todd, you are.
Oh no. Yeah.
What?
I just looked. So next week is Tennessee at Pittsburgh.
Oh
Yeah, but we get a
Oh no, dude, we're gonna
Dave on.
we're gonna try. Yeah, that's perfect.
Who?
Soccer Dave.
What if we get Kitchen on? Okay.
Yeah,
That'll save it.
I'll save it for sure.
I mean, that'll say the second quarter.
That's right. It'll say the
We're in the second half.
All right, no first down. Let's just keep a dream alive.
Come on, man.
Fuck.
That's it.
Ugh.
It's not technically over, but
It's over.
It's essentially over.
Yeah, we do have tons of options. We got our guy Nez. We got JJ.
Maybe
We'll book multiple.
Yeah, we got to bring some Pittsburgh people on too. That's great.
I know we're like coming up with like random ass reasons to bring people on for Saints and Lions and stuff, but we actually have like these are teams people are actually a fan of.
I am disappointed that we didn't. I mean, a last minute Baker bomb to Evans would have been electric.
It would have.
The Pequot guy with a 78% notch.
So our 5 pick,
We hit
the
4
white
again.
stayed
Right?
under. It hit 4
Yeah.
again. Man.
We've done that twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
this thing was nice. This thing was real nice. Directionally accurate.
Directionally accurate. Yeah, this thing was real good.
Man, Mike Evans.
That hold, man. I mean, I know. Well, honestly, he could have gotten the rest of the drive. So it's just so frustrating.
The hold. Ugh.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
White
Gonna be real
goes
cool when the
over.
Bucs get the ball back and immediately hand it off to White.
That would be awesome. That honestly would be awesome. That would be mad.
40 seconds, no timeouts. Or 30. I mean, what, 30? 20? And they do a handoff. I wouldn't put it past Bulls.
Chip Sealark saying that 80% Najee drafter. How does it feel that he's a millionaire from fantasy? But that's why he's an 80% Najee drafter. Because
It'd be like,
'cause he won
Pat,
$1
did you
million.
consider doing 80% Austin Eckler? I don't even think you could have gotten to that if you tried.
I didn't. No, I did not. But
Wait, what? Who?
I definitely
who's
could have. I
referring
just taken
to?
with the first round pick every time.
Who's the 80% Najee drafter that's a millionaire? Somebody.
His
Is there a
handles
real person?
Pecan Pequan. He went to high
Oh.
school with Bimefor.
Yeah, he won the DK
DraftKings
Millie
Millie.
2021.
The year Liam won.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was an 80%
Yeah.
Najee drafter this year.
And Najee was the guy. And then
Oh.
he drafted a shitload of them last year and this year.
Yeah, got it.
I was on stream with him, and he knows I didn't like Najee, so he was saying like, "That was his show," and which is interesting because not a lot of people stream DraftKings, so it was kind of cool. But
Wow,
He,
this is interesting.
I let him draft Najee.
Right.
Is the end.
You had to draft Najee?
I let him do it because he's like He was being kind of deferential to me of like, oh, we don't have to draft Najee. And I was like, dude, just fucking draft him.
Dude, they're at 4th and 1 with about 30 seconds left. They can ice a game or they can punt it, risk a block punt, risk some stuff. But I would rather pin the Bucs.
If I'm the Bucs or if I'm the Bills, don't you punt here? Like
I think I'm punting.
Turning the ball over here, right?
I do not want to turn the. They're trying to draw them off sides. They're going to call a timeout. They've done it so many times.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, are we?
I think you got to punt. I don't think you can give them the ball. They're down or up.
Dude, guys,
are we leaving it? Are we allowing ourselves to get emotionally hurt, or are we done?
I already did. I'm already emotionally invested again. The talk's too late. They're going to have the ball, and they're going to throw it. So
I'm saying, are we just moving on? Are we going to say thanks, everyone? Or are we going to get emotionally invested in the fact that Mike Evans could catch a 28-yard?
What do you mean?
There's no choice. We are emotionally invested. They're going to run more offensive plays.
I'm close to checking out, and I'm asking, are we getting emotionally invested?
Listen, I am proud of your stoicism, your ability to appreciate
what
the
happened
odds.
to you.
I'm with Pat. We're fucking emotionally invested. We're in. I'm visualizing the catch. They're going to play deep coverage.
It's possible to not be emotionally invested. It's possible to say this game is over. Mike Evans won't even be on the field, but fuck it. We're back in. Let's go. I'm getting Taco Bell.
Well, Mike Evans will be on the – if Mike Evans is on the field, I am going to tilt.
Yes. There we got a touchback. We needed that touchback. Baker needs room to operate.
Dude, the only worry about them being at the 1 was that's Chase Edmonds music, baby.
What do we Brown zone? We should be calling that, by the way.
What do we have? What do we need? What did we say? 28 yards?
27.
You know what's going to happen? It's going to end up being some like Mike Evans 26-yard catch, and then there's all this screen pass tomfoolery, and we're trying to figure out if Mike Evans still gets the yards or not.
No, you're right.
Fumbles.
Yeah, that is what's going to happen. But what we need is like 2.
All right, bottom of the screen. I'm back, baby. I'm emotionally invested.
All right.
That's too many yards. I'm not. I'm back on the 1 foot out the door
Baker,
that Pete was on.
Look the other way, you cuck.
It's going to have to be even a Hail Mary. He's going to have to be.
He was claiming 1 minute ago to not be emotionally invested. And then he goes, Baker.
They're going to get him. They're just going to try to get into Hail Mary distance. And then
you know who's the best Hail Mary asset in the entire NFL?
Yes.
Mike fucking Evans.
He might be.
Baby.
Come on. All right. Baker never, ever looks to the bottom of the screen, but that's where Evans is. Look to the fucking bottom of the screen, Baker.
What's he
What
doing?
did you just do?
Whistle? What was that?
Oh, they must have heard a whistle. Reset the game clock.
What's going on? My thing's lagging.
Prior to the ball being snapped, 3rd and final timeout, Buffalo. I just read his lips.
All right. My
Let's not. White Lantern got you. Let's not get emotionally invested.
I asked. You guys said you wanted me to get emotionally invested.
Yeah, you did. You well. It's a good thing we said yes. Oh my god, dude, that was so weird. The way he was just like, I guess he heard the whistle and he thought they were going to stop, but without sound, that was very insane.
Tyler, what's new, man? That's a day that ends in Y, buddy.
Dude, Baker was looking at Evans, dude. He was about to uncork that shit. Top of the
screen.
Where
is that? Evans, top of the screen. That's where Baker looks, man. Baker loves the top of the screen. Look to the
amazing.
Get it.
Amazing.
Just wait, what happened? What happened? He got an announcement.
Insanity. He did. White. We're setting up the Hail Mary, guys.
God, this is so brutal.
If he catches the Hail Mary, I am gonna go absolutely apeshit. I
don't want the Bucs to win this game. Like, I'm so mad at them. I don't want them to fucking win, and if they do, they'll win. So that's. But you know what? I'd rather win our pickup. Come on, man.
Yeah, this
What
is
yard
the
line
big
are they?
question. Are we getting one play or two plays here? Knowing Baker, it's one play.
It's got to be
Probably
one.
one.
And it's got to be two to get. You got to
There
get
he
yourself in. Yeah.
Okay, there's one.
Okay.
Yeah, but
It's closer. Chip in a chair.
that play really didn't. Well, I guess it might matter if
No,
they try the
it-
lateral play.
It helps.
Doesn't hurt.
It doesn't
No.
hurt. It shows that Baker remembers that Mike Evans is a player on
You'd
his
love to
team.
see. You frankly love to see that.
We need 19 more yards. I say you just hit Evans for a 20-yard gain in the middle of the field. Call it a night. just
Yeah,
Get out of here with
dude,
some
I'm
self-respect,
telling
you know?
He does some kind of underneath thing and then Evans laterals it, and we don't get these points, I will lose my mind.
Oh, that's
Baker.
offsides. Free play.
I can't see it. Nothing. It's my thing's frozen.
It was just
What
offsides. Unabated at the quarterback. We blew it dead. 5-yard penalty.
All right. I took my
Bill's
phone.
It was like, I don't care if it looks like it was Von Miller. He's like, I don't care about these 5 yards. I'm trying to get a perfect jump. It's kind of a smart play. Like, the 5 yards don't matter, but if you get a perfect jump, you might be able to just sack him and end the game.
Yeah, it's true. It was actually such a egregious jump that they didn't even get a free play out of it.
Right. Exactly. It was unabated. Can he
All right.
throw the ball 5 yards is the question.
Dude, they have no safeties back right now.
Bottom of the screen. Bottom of the screen.
Oh, God.
Chuck it, Baker.
No way. Oh, my God.
Oh. What?
Oh, it just landed. Nobody even knocked it down. It just landed in the middle of the mass of bodies. That was a great Hail Mary.
It was a great Hail Mary. You got to give Baker credit there. That was
I
an
gotta give
awesome Hail
Baker
Mary.
credit for that.
What is Evans doing?
Evan just got shoved
Oh,
off.
he got boxed out by 3 dudes.
Dude, that's Godwin. That's
Dude,
Godwin's fault.
Godwin.
Godwin has to
Godwin's
catch that.
got-
Godwin.
Oh.
He got pulled a little
Godwin's.
Throw the flag.
bit. Godwin, you got to make that play.
I mean, don't throw the flag because that doesn't even help us. But
Oh, my God. If Godwin gets his head turned,
he's got to catch that.
oh, my God. He should have caught it.
Dude,
Holy shit!
Godwin so catches that, and McLaughlin or whoever shanks the extra point, we go into OT.
Yeah, OT for sure.
Man,
Dude, if Godwin is like actually getting him, like he was kind of moving slow. If he's getting into a spot and turning around, he was being held, but like, man, he should have caught that. Put a little effort into it, buddy. He's like slowly turning around. He's not even looking for most of that play. And then the last second he turns around and doesn't pick up the ball yet. But like, it's a Hail Mary. Get your butt turned around and look. You had a chance.
well, Gretch, you called it before when we were talking. You're saying the only one I feel a little nervous about is Evans, and that was the one.
Well, you guys got me in on it. It was the right call, but man.
Yeah, that
Man.
was brutal.
That was brutal.
That was an agonizing sweat.
He got there. That's the second time, by the way. We have lost the 5-er on a play called back by penalty.
That's true.
That
That's
happened
true.
week 1 as well with A.J.
It's
Brown's
AJ
team.
Brown, yeah.
That's twice now that we've lost the 5-er from the pregame. The 3 and the 5. Both times it was in both. On a
It was in both,
penalty.
right. Right.
On yardage gained negated by penalty. Oh.
This is why you don't get emotionally invested, folks.
Brutal.
Speaker, look the other way, you got.
I'm telling you, I'm either in or I'm out.
You were just trying to make sure we were in too before you went full cut.
I know you're like, I need to fully squash this.
Well, he was being a total cuck because then he targeted him the next few passes.
You're right. You're right. You're not wrong. It's just the 180 from you were acting like you were going to be able to completely emotionally divorce yourself.
I was.
Gypsy says you can still get Taco Bell. I love that.
I did not earn Taco Bell.
I'm not getting
earn
Taco Bell.
a man in a cardboard box and bubble wrap showing up with my Crunchwrap Supremes. I did not earn that tonight.
I was going to have one of you DM me your address on Twitter, and I was going to send you like $30 a Taco Bell, but not this night.
Oh man.
Man,
don't worry, guys. As well as the core pick'em entry, I'm happy to roll over the Taco Bell giveaway.
Oh yeah. We'll do the Taco Bell next time too.
For sure.
Yeah, the Taco Bell giveaway.
Yeah.
That was. I can't decide if that was fun or not. I mean, there were elements of it that were just.
There were elements that were fun.
It was a more satisfying, like when you're sweating your games on the main slate and it's like death by 1,000 cuts and you're slowly coming to grips with this Sunday just being a wash. But here it was just like a fucking quick dagger at the end, like you're alive, dagger. I kind of like that. Forget the quick, the slow, painful death. Just give me the shiv right at the end.
Oh man.
Let me call Baker Mayfield a cock and then shit me.
Fucking shit me right in the side.
Okay, Godwin was trying to look over the other shoulder and then he tried to spin around. I kind of give him I thought he just had his back to the play. Like, you got to look.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I'm on another planet. Sorry.
I mean,
That's brutal.
All right. Guys, this has been the Shipcast. We appreciate you guys hanging, sweating, tilting, getting emotionally invested, de-invested, then reinvesting again with us.
Fully.
Pat's got to go record the walkthrough.
I got to go record the whole walkthrough. Which
I don't know how you do that on Thursday nights. It's incredible.
It's normally like almost done, and I haven't done any of it. I mean, I've written it all. So, and sometimes I'll save editings, like little edits for the narration, because it sort of doubles as an editing period.
Yeah.
And I went back and got like Deontay Johnson. I got to write up his hamstring. I already did that. The Tyreek Hill shenanigans. And then I was like, oh, it's, I need to stop panicking and fix that. So I went back and rewrote that. So all those types of major stuff is already corrected. So I'm hoping it won't take me as long as it normally does. But if it does, I'm gonna be a little bit of a tired boy tomorrow.
Yeah, and fantastic NFL scheduling. Week 8, no buys. You got all 16 games.
Maybe don't show that AI ad again. Just don't just don't brag about it. Okay, you fucked up. All right, you make the mistake. You own the mistake. Don't tell me, oh, we're so smart. Look at our technology. Oh, how we couldn't have done this without it. You probably couldn't have, because it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Gretch, you said you're gonna go narrate your Arthur Smith intros from this week right
now? No. Look, guys. I don't know if you guys know how the world works around here. I don't know if you've seen Grassy Knoll. I don't know. Climate change.
Yeah, what is your take on climate change, Arthur?
Why is he always moving his hand?
Well, you see him. Someone must have told him, because he was gripping it. He was gripping it like that. I don't move my hands. Don't tell me I move my hands.
You know how the world works. There's a cabal. I mean, you know.
There's a cabal. There's a cabal out there. It's probably run by your dad.
Right.
Like a Nepo baby.
All right. Before we get political, we're going to sign off here every Thursday night. We'll be back next Thursday for Titans Steelers.
We did almost get political there.
We did. I got to cut it off. Before we alienate everyone. It's time for our audience to emotionally.
Arthur Smith.
I wouldn't vote for Arthur Smith. That's all. That's
his fault.
There's good people on both sides. We'll see you next week.